Last April, the United States Congress passed and the President signed into law establishing September 11 as a National Day of Service and Remembrance. In accordance and in honor of this day, the Mount Carmel Area School District, prior to this evening's game, Mount Carmel area is proud to participate in this solemn event. At this time, we would like to pay tribute to the chiefs, officers, and representatives of the police, fire companies, and emergency medical personnel of Mount Carmel Borough, Mount Carmel Township, Coltmont Borough, Marion Heights Borough, Shamokin City, and Cole Township. Would any member of those organizations please stand now and please join me in a round of applause to thank these courageous men for all they do to protect and serve our communities. Thank you. And now, please stand for the Mount Carmel area alma mater and remain standing to pause for a moment of silence for all those who lost their lives on September 11, 2001 at the World Trade Center, the Pentagon, and in Shanksville, Pennsylvania, especially for those who died in service and protecting their country and community. And now I ask you to direct your attention to the 40-yard line as the Joint Veterans Color Guard will present the colors. In honor of their sacrifices and to display our Cole Region patriotism, we will have the national anthem as sung by Carissa Pupo, Andrea Sankowski, Diane Jadaro, and Haley Stepp. This will be followed by God Bless America.
Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight first gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight
doing, guys?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and
Mount Carmel
welcome
Area School
to
District
Mount Carmel Area High School Red Tornado Football. Tonight, from the Silver Bowl, it's the Coal Bucket game. I need not say any more than that. The 59th edition of the Coal Bucket Tussle is going to occur here before your eyes tonight. The longest running high school trophy football game in the state of Pennsylvania. I'm here along with my partner, as always, Wayne Brokenshire, and he'll be bringing you the color of this game. And it is shaping up to be one of the best Coal Bucket games in a very long time, Wayne.
I'm telling you, this game is no prediction whatsoever. Shamokin comes in with a very well mature line. They've been together for a few years. They have Busan as their receiver. He's been around for a while, along with, of course, Tyler Dorenzo is back as their tailback, and we seen him not last year, but the year before last, and almost broke quite a few of them, and to break Mount Carmel's back. So this is the year for Shamokin. I do believe that they might walk away with the bucket. Tornado's coming in with the younger, much younger team, but they're coming in with speed. Whether Shamokin can match up well with the speed that they bring on, it has to be one of the fastest teams we've seen in quite a few years as a whole. We've had the Veaches, Nick Sebas and so on, that one person that we knew could break it, but Tornadoes, although young, are bringing in about maybe 4 players that are probably the fastest in this area.
Both teams come into this contest tonight 0-1 as the Red Tornadoes took a shellacking up at powerful Seelings Grove last week, 41-0. The Shamokin area Indians losing last Saturday night to their other arch rival in the region, Southern Columbia. The Tigers beat them 21-7 in a hard-fought, tight football game down at Kemp Memorial. So both teams looking for a little redemption here to get this season going with a win. This is, and we've heard so much about this Coal Bucket, and again, Mount Carmel area has now retained the Coal Bucket for 13 straight seasons. So again, most people are looking at this game as the game where maybe the Shamokin Indians might break out and bring that bucket home finally. Again, it's as Wayne had alluded, we're looking at a game here that's basically a game of speed up against a game of brute force. From what we saw of the Indians last week, the Indians will run a I formation. They did not deviate much from that I formation. They used Forbes as a fullback for the most part, and you see the senior Tyler Dorenzo, or number 32, the junior Jarrett Montgomery in the tailback spot as they kind of rotated in and out of the football game. At least they did so last week. The number 7, Haddock, is the quarterback. That's
yes.
Jarrett. He's also a junior. Now, he had a tough game last week in the passing department. Now, Mount Carmel area not a whole lot better, but better than he did. He could not get himself on track in the passing game, and that hurt them, I think, a little bit against a Southern Columbia team that was playing very good defense. So it'll be interesting to see how this game begins to play out. Again, the Red Tornadoes, a much faster football team, but also a much smaller football team, and we're going to be going over the lineup here because, as we noticed even during the pregame warm-ups, that's how it's been going here for Red Tornadoes in the past week. It looks as though they've juggled their offensive line again from midweek until now. So obviously there may be some new faces. We'll keep you posted on who lines up there. Of course, the people that look at Mount Carmel area, if you're looking for the game players, the game makers, the quarterback, right away is the first guy that comes to mind, and that's going to be number 4, Eddie Stewart, also a junior. And then go down that lineup, look for number 21, Justin Pulowski, the senior. He's the leader. He's the guy with the speed, along with, I'm drawing a blank here, but I'll find him in Myrick Lamb. I'm sorry, Myrick Lamb, just a sophomore. These guys are legitimate 4-4 speedsters, folks. So they are someone, including the quarterback, which is very rare to have a quarterback that fast. So any opening here for the Red Tornadoes, and they're going to be going downfield. So it'll be interesting as it plays out. The Red Tornadoes, despite, and we talked about it at the end of last game, despite a 41-0 score, the Red Tornadoes actually played very good defensive football. The problem was that they were trying to make up for absolutely no offense the entire evening by the Red Tornadoes.
Well, in that game, in the whole first half, Tornadoes did not get past their own 20-yard line, so it was very difficult for Coach Chesney to run anything out of the ordinary. He had to stay very close to the cuff and keep everything straight up the field. When you're down in your own end zone like that, and especially with the score the way it was and Selinsgrove, their size, you tried to control as much as possible.
The crowd trickling in there as we get ready to look at kickoff here. I want to welcome everybody on the webcast. Again, thanks for tuning in to Mount Carmel Area Football on the World Wide Web. And again, if you go to the Mount Carmel Area website or tell your friends that, you'll see the link to us and you will catch all of our games live every week. So again, welcome everybody. This is a rare Saturday night game for the Red Tornadoes and an even rarer bucket game. They were trying to remember even when the last time, or if ever, we played a Saturday game for the bucket.
For the bucket.
We couldn't come up with that answer, so I hope you weren't hoping we did, because we never did come up with it. But very rare Saturday appearance for both of these teams. The Indians, of course, play Southern Columbia on the opening night on Saturday, and that's always been a tradition since they began that rivalry. And again, that's partially to capture the gate on a Saturday after the opening Friday. So they're more used to playing maybe than the Red Tornadoes are on Saturday. The Red Tornadoes, when they look at except for in Hershey, have had a tough time on Saturdays, mostly Saturday afternoon. So
this is not a Saturday evening, Saturday afternoon team, that's for sure.
Now,
historically, anyway.
The other thing to look at, you look at all these little things. We're hearing all these people talk about it as we came through the gate. We're on the field a little bit. The Indians are coming out with white jerseys and purple pants, which is, we can't remember the last time that happened.
Nope, we don't.
Traditionally, it's an all-purple squad against an all-red squad. The Shamokin area Indians chose to wear purple and white this time. It was their option. I talked to the athletic director, Greg Sakavich here. He told them, wear whatever you want. But that brings me to the next point here. The other new factor here is Coach Dan Four, the new head coach of the Shamokin Indians. So this is his first bucket game, the first time he's looking at this type of atmosphere here. So we'll see how he fares out. The Indians look like they will receive the football. Now, the other big news to look at on the individual player roster here for the Red Tornadoes, and that is that Demko, their outstanding all-state lineman, is not going to be playing once again. Trevor Demko has not been medically cleared to play football yet. He missed last week's game for the same reason, and he will miss all of this game. He is not suited. He is down with his jersey on, and that is truly unfortunate for the Red Tornadoes, as he is such a force in the football game, and they're going to have to try to do this without him for the remainder of the evening.
Now, one thing you're going to notice when we take the field, both teams take the field, you're going to see the size difference between the Tornadoes and Shamokin, especially when they line up on offense, defense. Shamokin does have a larger team than what the Tornadoes do.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. They're going to definitely look bigger across the line. The Red Tornadoes, again, we said they juggle their lines. So we're going to have to wait and see who actually opens up on the offensive line before we give you that roster. Now, you will see a roster, I believe, on your screen this week. So at some point,
yes,
we're going to be watching to see when that shows up, to see if that's all actually matching. Because, again, the line has been in an absolute state of flux for the Red Tornadoes since last week's Selinsgrove game. Now, you don't have to get worked up for this game. In fact, if you're a football player down in the field and you're not worked up for this game, you may not want to be playing football, because this is what it's all about in high school football in Pennsylvania.
Josh Lahr, number 33 in the center. Number 10, Tim Busan on the far side from the camera. And it looks like number 37, Brandon Pisarchik on the near side. They are the three deep for Shamokin Indians.
Who do you have in the middle down there? 32, Montgomery? Yeah.
32, Montgomery.
Okay, Montgomery, Pisarchik, and Busan back. You're right. Kicking off for the Red Tornadoes, of course, will be T.J. Hiroman. Had a great opening game. First time ever kicking, and really kicked well for the Red Tornadoes last week against the Seals. So we'll see how he does here. And we are underway. Kick is going to bounce down along the 20-yard line. It's picked up by Montgomery, and Montgomery brought down hard at the 30-yard line.
That's Brandon Pisarchik, number 37.
I'm sorry, number 34, Shustak on the stop for the Red Tornadoes, and it's 1st and 10 Indians. The ball will be set down right at the 31-yard line of the Indians. Haddock has him in his huddle, and they're ready to go off on their first offensive play of the game. He has Haddock in front of Dorenzo in the I, and that's what we'll see mostly here tonight from the Indians is the I formation.
Brent Forbes is the fullback.
And Forbes on the carry. He's tripped up by Tommy Hynoski for the Red Tornadoes, number 48. He's also a sophomore, and that's the theme in this Red Tornado team. Juniors and sophomores, not a lot of seniors. As we talked about it last week, they graduated 25 seniors off of last year's squad, which is fully half of the entire squad has changed over. It's going to bring up a 2nd down and about 8 to go on a 2-yard gain by Haddock. And again, the same I formation. And
that's what you're going to see. You're going to see I formation, Brett Forbes in front of Dorenzo.
And this time it's Dorenzo, and Dorenzo picks up some nice yards after initially being stopped at the line of scrimmage. He gets it up to about the 38-yard line, stopped down in there by number 57 for the Red Tornadoes, Ahmad Abumar. It's going to bring up a 3rd down and about 3, a long 3.
Cody Shoestack, number 34, makes the initial hit behind the line of scrimmage there.
One guy split to the right, one guy to the left. Very, very vanilla offense in that respect. Not a lot of different formations, at least what we saw last week from them. And this time they're going to go to Haddock, and Haddock's going to try to get around the end. Then he's going to throw the ball. He has a man open, but he overthrew the intended receiver down there, Tom Nerns, and it's 4th down, and the Indians will be forced to kick.
Yeah, Tommy Nerns, he's going to be one of the slots. Tom Nerns, number 24, along with Trey Cohen, number 2. They will switch in and out.
So Forbes will do the kicking for the Indians as he has in his entire career. And believe me, if you think a large man like him can kick the ball far, you're right, he can. He's definitely a very respected punter here. Back deep for the Red Tornadoes is Pulowski and Lamb, and the ball's going to bounce in front of Pulowski. He's going to let it go, and it's going to bounce all the way down to about the 23-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10, Red Tornadoes.
Good move by Pulowski. The ball was dribbling around. Of course, he decided not to even touch it. Coverage was good by Shamokin Indians.
All right, the Red Tornadoes are coming out. We'll look at that offensive line real quick, and the first thing I'm going to tell you is there's a new center in there. Number 66 is starting at center, Mike Shikatano. He was not there last week. And now we're going to see what that does to the rest of the lineup down there. You got Matalevich at 1 tackle down there, and I'm trying to see. Here we go. Here's the graphic here, and you can see where it does show Shikatano. So you got Abumar, Amaro, Shikatano, Matalevich, and Smirlik, number 74. He's the guard down there in
Official
that lineup.
Timeout.
I'm not sure what we're doing.
Trying to get our helmet
there's
situated
a helmet,
there.
Helmet off down there. I didn't see the kid with the helmet off, but there you saw the lineup. So a little bit different lineup than we saw last week against the Seals. And I'm sure Coach Chesney was a little disappointed on how poorly we did block last week. So you could expect changes in that respect because of that fact.
Defensively, I think Shamokin runs basically a 5-3. They will run 3 linebackers. Number 7, Jared Haddock. Number 45, Brent Forbes. And Jared Montgomery, number 32.
All right, the Red Tornadoes start off on a sour note already as Shoestack cannot get his helmet fixed, and he's going to have to come to the sideline. They're going to replace him in the lineup with Tyler Kricke, number 1, as he goes in. As Shoestack, the starting fullback, comes out on the first play before they even run it, and his helmet's broke.
Well, that happened on the punt.
All right, so now we have Kricke in front of Pulowski in the lineup. Hynoski comes in motion across the line. They're going to move to the motion. Pulowski is going to pick and choose his way up to about the 20-yard line.
Loss of about 3 yards that time on the play. Brent Forbes, number 45, he's playing the middle linebacker position, a monster linebacker, if you want to call him that.
So 2nd down and 13 now for the Red Tornadoes, and the Shoestack gets back into that lineup with his helmet now finally fixed. I don't know if they were welding it or what down there. I didn't see like the arc or anything, but they did something in a hurry down there. So 2nd down now for the Red Tornadoes. They're going to open up in a split backfield. Stewart is still under center. There's one guy out to his right. We go up the middle, and it's Shustak, and Shustak is going to pick up about 5-6 yards on the play. Nice run by Shustak.
Slash play coming up from the up over right tackle, between right tackle and guard.
So that'll bring up 3rd down and about 5 now for the Red Tornadoes. A good 8-yard pickup by the fullback. Clayman, number 12, goes into the lineup now. Hiroman comes out. Clayman will line up along with Mark Minnick out to the right of the formation. We are in an I formation running, and it's Stewart goes back to pass right away. Stewart rolls out. He looks down and too high, trying to hit Minnick, the junior receiver down there, and it's 4th down, and the Red Tornadoes will be punting.
That time, Shamokin blitzing the right linebacker. Tornadoes picked it up very well. Gave Eddie some time there, some good protection as he rolled out.
Now, as all of you know, watching this game on a Wednesday, this field endured 2 full days of heavy rain. But I need to tell you, we were out on it before the game,
yeah.
Wayne and I, and this field's in perfect condition. There is absolutely no moisture whatsoever. There's a flag down on the field.
Flags
There's
now.
a second flag down. I don't know if we have too many people on the field somewhere or. Yeah, they're counting them.
12. They have 12. Shamokin has 12 guys on the field.
They counted them. Shamokin counted them twice and still
Yeah.
ended up with 12 at the end of it. So illegal participation is the call, and that may make a 1st down. Let's see where that puts
It's
the
going
ball.
to be close.
Let's see where that puts the ball down at. No, it's going to be just short if they put the ball down there. Ooh, just short. Now they're within a half a yard of the 1st down, and the Red Tornadoes will still, I believe,
Too early in the game.
punt the ball. Although Shamokin is completely changing around here now. They're still going to go back. Busan will go back deep for the Indians to receive the punt. And Hiroman, 82 for the Red Tornadoes down there, does the punting also.
Okay, we got an official.
We got a heck of a time going.
Yeah,
here, I'll tell you
officials
what.
timeout, and I guess they're going to measure it.
Yes, they are. You're good eye
I don't
there.
know. I don't know how he could walk that off.
No,
and
I
then, you know what I mean, and
I
put the
wondered-
ball down. And
I wondered the exact same
You know.
thing, and how he managed to do that the way he did
5
it.
yards is 5 yards.
But they're short. I mean, they're
Woo.
short almost a yard when you look at it on the field here. So he was right. We'll give him credit. He was absolutely right. He has a better eye than you and I do, because I wondered how he saw that. But it will still be a kicking situation, although it's one of the longest ones you're going to endure for the year. Now they finally look like they're going to kick the ball. Again, Busan will be back down along the Indian 37-yard line, where he'll await the Hiroman punt. Hiroman gets the center back, and a nice kick. It hits the ground, and Busan now deciding not to pick it up. A nice punt rolls down inside the 30, down to the Indian 28-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10 Indians.
Again, you don't know, was that designed to do that? Because he did, when he dropped the ball to kick it, he was holding it very low. And usually when you hold it low like that, you're going to have a low driving kick.
We'll try to get you some of those interior linemen out of the Shamokin Indians as we progress through the quarter here. We didn't forget them. We'll get to them. All right, 1st and 10 again. Indians line up again in that I formation. One guy out to Haddock's left here on the short side of the field, but they pitch it the other way to Dorenzo, and Dorenzo is going to pick up about 2 yards on the play. It'll bring up 2nd and 8. He stopped down there by the Red Tornadoes by Tommy Heinofsky, number 48, getting off the bottom of the pile.
The interior line for Shamokin, number 75, the center, Bob Taylor. Number 57, playing left guard, Jake Phillips. 63, Terry Seeger, the other guard. Number 72, Tim Shuey, the right tackle. And number 53, Wes Tillett, the left tackle.
This time he puts a receiver split out to the right of the formation. And we hand it right up the middle to Forbes, and Forbes chucking his way along, and Forbes will be brought down around the 34-yard line.
Pickup of about maybe 4 yards that time.
Stuchkavich and Heinofsky again on the stop, as Heinofsky very active on defense so far in this football game.
Number 10, the split end, Tim Busan. The slots, number 12, Tommy Narens, or number 2, Trey Cohen. Brent Forbes, of course, is the blocking fullback, number 45, and the tailback, 34, Tyler Dorenzo, along with the quarterback, Jared Haddock, number 7.
Cohen split to the left here on the 3rd and 3 call, and the Indians have gone offside. So it'll be a 3rd and 8 call now instead of 3rd and 3 for the Indians. And that'll drive a coach nuts in a hurry.
Oh.
Now both of these teams they probably used up their entire share of offside penalties, I think, between last week and the two of them. I mean, my goodness. I don't think Mount Carmel could have had any more penalties if it tried. So a completely different call now for Coach 4 and his group as he has to readjust the call. This time they're going to come out with split receivers.
Trips on the right side.
You got Dorenzo, Cohan, and Busan all out to the left of the formation. And Haddock goes back to throw, and he's looking to throw or run, and he's going to be sacked in the backfield down there for the Red Tornadoes by Mike Sinopoli, the senior. And another loss on the play for the Indians, and it'll be 4th down, and they'll be kicking.
4th and 11. He was
replay.
rolling out. They tried to flood this right side of their offense. And, of course, Stukavich, number 85, slowed everybody up that time.
So the Red Tornadoes are that deep around their 40-yard line. The center snap was rolled back to Forbes, and there's a penalty flag on the play. So not the crispest game so far, and looks like the Indians will march back another 5 yards as they have a motion penalty called against them now. So it'll be 4th down now in about 17 as they will now be kicking from right around their 10-yard line when he finally puts his foot to the ball. 6:42 remaining here in the first quarter of play. The score is 0-0 here in the Coal Bucket game. This time the center goes back. The Red Tornadoes nearly blocked it. Lamb back at his 43-yard line, and Lamb is not going to get around him. Number 12 for the Shamokin Indians, all over it, Tom Nairns. Tom Nairns made a great play on Lamb, because had Lamb gotten past him, here you see him, Lamb's going to try to go to the Indian sideline.
Yep.
If he can get around Nairns, look at the room he had over there. But Nairns said not going to happen tonight. The other thing to think about if you're a Red Tornado tonight, among all the other hoopla going on here, this is the Mike Terry Awards.
Yes, it is.
The outstanding lineman and outstanding back on the Red Tornado side of the ball will receive the coveted Mike Terry Award given by the Mount Carmel Area Lions Club. Stewart, a full keeper. Never thought he wasn't going to keep it. Stewart's got the corner. Stewart up to about midfield. He's going to come very close to a 1st down. We'll see where they put the ball down at the boundary marker there.
That used to be called student body left, student body right. They had 2 pulling guards that time and the lead halfback. And, the 2 halfbacks. And with Eddie Stewart, I'll tell you what, you shield 1 block, and he's going to be gone on you.
2nd down and less than a yard now for the Red Tornadoes. The ball just inside their own territory, and they pitch it to Pulowski. Pulowski picks and chooses his way. Pulowski still running. Pulowski still on his feet. Pulowski down in the Indian territory at the Indian 28-yard line. 1st and 10, Red Tornadoes.
So Pulowski brings to the field, people. What you're seeing here is completely, he came into his own at the beginning of last year, and he's bringing it on now. Take a look at the hits that he has taken here by the Shamokin Indians coming through the line. Of course, his tackle, and picks up 10 extra yards on that carry. Timeout, Shamokin.
Leon Supsick finally was the guy that really got his arm around his leg and brought him down, but you can see how tough Pulowski really is. He's not that big of a runner. He's 5'9", 167 pounds, but you want to see a kid that's put together. There's a kid that's put together. A lot of weightlifting, a lot of upper body and leg strength, and then the 4.4 speed on top of it. So he brings the whole package to that backfield. And this is what we said. The Indians were going to have a little trouble, at least in the beginning, contending with the speed of the Red Tornadoes. The Red Tornadoes, when I saw the game last week with the Tigers, and again, the Red Tornadoes are bringing a level of speed that the Tigers did not to the game.
Right,
they had some nice running backs, and they played a very good football game, but they're not that breakaway, blink of an eye and I'm gone kind of runner that the Red Tornadoes have. And again, you're seeing that even from the quarterback, which really makes it interesting. The last time the Red Tornadoes had a quarterback with that kind of breakaway speed was
Sebas. Nick Sebas.
And you see what kind of career he had for us.
Well, Nick Sebas, number one, had to be the purest, fastest athlete I've ever seen with the football uniform on.
Even me?
Well, when you get on a roll.
Yeah, it's got to be downhill like a
yeah,
cliff.
Exactly.
Pulowski on the stop, or on the run. Pulowski stopped in there right away by number 28 on the Indian roster. That's Chris Henley. He's a senior, 5'11", 160. And we'll give him about a yard on the play. It'll bring up 2nd down and 9.
Again, Shamokin stays in their 5-3. Preston Ford, number 47, is their left end. The right end, Jake Phillips, number 57. Their nose guard, number 37, Brandon Pisarczyk.
All right, Stewart will go into a shotgun formation with Pulowski next to him. He looks downfield, and he had an open receiver down there, number 2, Maloney, and Maloney couldn't hold on. It was a little behind him.
It was behind him. If Eddie would have let him just a little bit more, that was going.
So it brings up 3rd down and 9 now. As Stochkavich comes into that lineup, probably at the tight end position, I would think.
Mark Napick, number 26, a tackle. Wes Tillett, number 53, playing the other tackle on the defensive line.
Back in an I formation now for the Red Tornadoes as Stewart goes back. Stewart under pressure right away, rolls down. Again, had his man wide open on the sideline and just threw it too high. He couldn't hit him. He had Minnick down there.
He has a little bit of difficulty when he's in motion. Again, you have to remember that Eddie Stewart only played sparingly as a quarterback last year, stepping in, picking up some valuable varsity time. This is his first start year as quarterback. He's got to get used to the motion as he is moving right or left, planting his feet a little bit to be able to make that throw.
Timeout, Red Tornadoes. They want to think about it. It's 4th and 9. They're down at the 28-yard line of the Indians, and they want to make a decision here on what to do. I don't think they're going to kick, obviously.
No.
Coach Chesney is throwing what can only be described as a fit in that huddle.
Okay, thank you.
Somebody's getting the paint on the helmet melted off there somehow. I mean, he is just plain upset about something. I don't even want to venture a guess about what he's upset about. But he's in there giving them about as stern a talking to as they're going to get in their lifetime. So I guess he's not going to let last week happen, at least not without blowing a cork along the way.
No, that's for sure.
He was fairly calm last week, to tell you the truth. But he's a fiery coach. I mean, that's the difference a little bit between him and Coach Brennan. Coach Brennan, though, had his moments too, but it took a lot longer for him to boil over, whereas Coach Chesney can boil over fairly quickly.
On a simmer.
Yeah, he's simmering to begin with. All right, shotgun formation here for Stewart. He looks downfield. He lobs the ball down to
oh, come on,
penalty flag, yeah. It's intercepted, but it's going to be defensive interference on the play. Clayman was the intended receiver down there. He was covered by Leon Supsick, and I think they're going to call the penalty on Supsick.
He hooked him and up against him the whole time from about the 20-yard line out.
So that will give the Red Tornadoes a 1st down, and we'll see where they end up putting the ball down at when they mark the penalty off, as they talk about it at the 30-yard line down there, and they now made the decision. They know where to go. And there you have the call, defensive interference against the Indians. And that's going to put the ball somewhere down by the 10-yard line or so. So a big break for the Red Tornadoes here. With 5:20 remaining in the first quarter, no score. And the Red Tornadoes now, courtesy of a big defensive penalty by the Indians, are now threatening, and they're going to set the ball down just inside the 15-yard line. So 1st and 10 from just inside the 15. We'll stay in that same formation for the last 4 plays now, with Stewart in the shotgun. Stewart now never looking to throw. He's looking for the corner, and he's going to have a tough time getting it, as the Indians very good defensively that time. Picked up
lateral.
About 3 yards.
And take a look. Brent Forbes, number 45, is right over there to make the tackle for the Shamokin Indians. Great foot speed. Pick up of about 2, maybe 2 long, short 3. for the Tornadoes. But there's Brent Forbes. He's playing that middle linebacker position. He gets over to tackle Eddie Stewart out of bounds. So, hats off to him. Brent Forbes is one of the elite basketball players, too, down at Shamokin. So he's got some good foot speed.
Under center this time in Pulowski. And Pulowski looking for a cut. Pulowski's going to take it in. A 12-yard touchdown run by number 21 from the Red Tornadoes. Justin Pulowski and the Red Tornadoes have drawn first blood here in the bucket game. It's 6-0. What a nice play, and again, what a tough run.
Here it is. He's actually running off the guard, right off the tail of the center, but he's slashing across. He's trying to get the defense to commit onto the inside, and he breaks it to the outside, and he backwashes into the end zone.
All right, Hiroman will begin to attempt the extra point. His first attempt of the season. Pulowski on the hole, the center's back. He puts up
and it's
blocked.
blocked.
Number 32, Montgomery for the Indians, blocked. The Red Tornadoes' first extra point attempt of the 09 season, and the score remains the Red Tornadoes 6, the Indians 0. Again, the Red Tornadoes looking, just so much more crisper on offense than they did last week. You just never really got to see them last week, on offense much.
And again, I'll say that you just cannot look at that game last week. You're talking about a Selinsgrove team that probably one of the best teams I've seen in quite a few years. Size-wise, one of the largest teams. They ran five linebackers, and they all were about 240 to 250 pounds, and they could move. So, regardless of what you might think of what that score was, there is no way you can draw anything out of that other than the defense for the Tornadoes did pick up from the second quarter on and played a good game.
All right, Hiroman will tee it up. Down deep for the Indians, the same group. You got the Sarchik to the near side here. Looks like Montgomery in the middle and Busan to the far side, the Indian sideline side. Hiroman lets it rip. It's a high kick this time.
A little short, though.
And around the
11-yard
line. It's Montgomery, and Montgomery slips right at the 25-yard line and goes down. So it's 1st and 10 Indians from the 25. He tried to make the cut, and he slipped. And again, the field is not the reason. The field is just an absolutely excellent. In fact, this field is a great commercial for why natural turf may still be the alternative for football fields, because it just rained and rained and rained and rained on this field, and it does not seem it at all. All right, this time we come out without the I formation. We have a lone back, and it's Forbes. He's got two guys to the right, two guys to the left, and it's Forbes. And Forbes is brought down, and he fumbled it. He fumbled it. There's a fumble on the field. Let me see where. No, we're not. No, we're not. Well, somebody recovered the ball here. I don't know how that is a fumble. I'm going to say it has to be a fumble. The ball wasn't with him. So Forbes fumbles the ball, and the Indians take a big hit here. With 4:53 here in the first quarter, the Red Tornadoes will take over 1st and 10 on the 25. Now, I didn't know. There was a real scrum going on, and his back was to us, so I don't know who tore it out of his hands. But that's what it looked like
I
happened.
don't think he even had it. I should tell you.
Maybe juggling it as he was going around. There you see him. You can. He has the ball still, and then somewhere, there's the ball. The ball's out as he's falling, so I'm not sure what happened. But either way, it's 1st and 10, and it's Shoestack. And Shoestack plows his way down. Just get word that it is Sinopoli who recovered the fumble for the Red Tornadoes. So Mike Sinopoli on a big fumble recovery. Shoestack takes the ball inside the 20 down to around the 19-yard line. A 6-yard gain. It's 2nd down and 4 for the Red Tornadoes. Forbes, I'm not sure if he's going out of the game.
I don't know
Forbes
either.
is going out of the game. He's doing something with his arm over there. So Forbes took himself out of the game on that respect. Number 63 goes into the lineup to replace him for them. That's Tom Templer. We'll see if does he line up.
He's in the line, so they must have kicked somebody from the line back.
Okay, somebody moved back there then. Again, now we're in a power eye, and it's Lamb this time, and Lamb will pick up the 1st down for the Red Tornadoes. He was a step away from a touchdown. And again, the Red Tornadoes blocking very well. So the reconstituted front line doing its job for the Red Tornadoes tonight.
Tom Nairns for Shamokin makes that stop, number 12.
Now Forbes came back in right away, so whatever that was, it might have just been an equipment problem. This time Pulowski. Pulowski has the outside. Pulowski cuts it back, and Pulowski's down to the 1 yard line.
It was a fantastic play. They blitzed the corner or the defensive end, and Pulowski ran right underneath him to the open spot.
It's 1st and goal, ladies and gentlemen, from the just inside the 1 yard line for the Red Tornadoes. 3:48 and counting here in the first quarter. The Red Tornadoes dominating this quarter as they line up, and again, they'll line up in a kind of that heavy backfield. It's hard to describe that, but it doesn't matter. It's a quarterback keeper
Eddie
by
Stewart. Should be in.
And they're waiting the call here. Touchdown, Red Tornadoes. That was a slow one there, but Stewart managed to pound his way in there behind the big center. Mike Chicatano, the new center, actually. That's where he went at him.
Great job, too. I got to say that much.
So there you see the scrum and the pile going there. But somewhere in the middle of there, he actually went down. There's a picture of the coal bucket. For those of you who have never seen it, that's what it does look like. And it's a coal bucket full of flowers. Nothing fancy, but it has a lot of meaning. The Red Tornadoes will go for 2 now as they had their first attempt blocked, so they go for 2. They're in an I formation, and Stewart is going to look and throw the ball, and no, he's not, as he's going to be drugged down there very quickly by Jake Phillips, number 57, I believe.
He's playing the end. They're trying to get to number 34, Cody Shoestack, coming out of the backfield that time.
For the Red Tornadoes, if they are unsuccessful with anything so far, is they're not doing that good of a job on the extra point attempts. That's the only complaint we have. And ever since Coach Chesney went in and turned everybody's ears red, they're a new team right away. I mean, they definitely came out breathing fire after that little talk in the huddle. So, and that's what Chesney brings to a football team, though. That's what he does.
Yeah,
He's
does.
a motivator.
He's a motivator.
He'll get you up and he'll get you running through a brick wall if you need to. I mean, he'll do whatever it takes. So Hiroman will be in for his 3rd kickoff here of the first quarter. As the first quarter, as the first quarter still has 3:30 remaining in it.
Of course, you've seen last week against Southern. The Tornadoes certainly cannot get Laxter, even though it's 12-0. Shamokin regrouped from about the second quarter on and played some great football after that.
This time it goes over their head. A great kick by Hiroman goes over Busan's head and into the end zone. It'll be a touchback, and it's 1st and 10. Indians from their 20-yard line, but what a kick by Hiroman that time.
Yeah, we've seen that down at Sealing-Grove, too. He put it on the goal line about 3 times.
So the Indians will come out on offense once again. They've had a tough time. The last couple of series, and again the last one they fumbled the ball, which resulted in 6 points for the Red Tornadoes.
I think it's a blocking scheme. We're sort of bringing a lot of people up into that into the box, and now they're starting to spread people out. They're running a little bit more slots. They're running trips to one side, trying to spread out the defense for the Tornadoes. Haddock
go ahead. He's looking back
calls,
at his group there. An
yep.
audible, it looks like.
Audible.
And it's Dorenzo, and Dorenzo is stacked up. In fact, Haddock hadn't finished handing the ball off to Dorenzo when he was tackled because he was still holding on to the ball.
Ed Smerlik, number 74, makes that stop.
Now, Smerlik we saw last week, and he had some real flashes of brilliance last week on defense. He really did. So he looks like he is picking up where he left off last week. So a loss on the play at 2. It's going to bring up 2nd and 12 now for the Indians, as they'll go into a one-back offense now with Forbes the one back. And Haddock.
It's a keeper by Haddock.
Nobody got fooled on that one. Nobody.
57, of course.
That's
Abelmar.
He was all over that.
Yeah, he was standing right there when Haddock came around.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm not sure what happened there. That Albemarle was standing there, and he basically tackled Haddock as he ran it right into his arms, and another loss on the play.
Yep.
So it's now another 2-yard loss. It's 3rd and 14, and the Indian offense has somehow begun to sputter here.
Yeah, Tommy Nairns, number 12, comes in. He's their slot man. He's a receiver. They run double slot, left and right.
Haddock's under center. He has Forbes back there. Forbes is going to stay in to help, and we're going to throw the ball deep, and it goes deep, and there's a penalty flag on the play. On the coverage for the Red Tornadoes down there was 3, Mark Minnick, but we'll see what the flag is going to be, and I think it's against the Red Tornadoes.
Yeah, against, Busan was open that time going down the sidelines.
There you see, you only saw the end of it, so I'm not sure
where it occurred.
Mm-hmm.
And it is against Tornadoes.
So it'll be a first down for the Indians on the defensive penalty. And they're going to move the ball up to the 37-yard line. No. Wait, he's going to go. All right.
Okay.
No, he went too far. You're right. There, now he's okay. He's at the 32-yard line. He was 5 yards too long on that mark-off. So it'll be 1st and 10 from the 32-yard line for the Indians. 1:56 remaining still in the first quarter of play here at the Silver Bowl in Mount Carmel. And we're back into the I formation. We pitch it now to Montgomery. Montgomery's going to try to get outside, and he's not going to do it. A nice play by Shoestack, 34, the linebacker.
Shoestack did a nice job last week, and of course continues this week and comes in. Montgomery had a great game last week against Southern area. He played a great defensive game from his linebacker position, did a lot of containment.
Brings up a 2nd down and 8 on the play, about a 2-yard gain on the play. Haddock will go under center again with that same I formation as he turns back and says something to Forbes. And he's going to keep it, and he is buried. I mean,
I don't know
what the left side of the defensive line for the Red Tornadoes are just all over.
Well, I don't know what Haddock's trying to call down there, but I don't know whether he thought
that looks
either
like
Montgomery
a busted play.
was supposed to go to the right side or what, but he turned and it looked like he was trying to hand the ball off to somebody and they weren't there.
Yeah, that looked like a busted play. A loss on the play of 3 yards, so it's 3rd and 11 now. But you're right, he's the only one that turned that direction.
Yep.
Everybody else was going the other way. And again, this is a first-year starter at quarterback for the Indians too, in Haddock.
Yep.
And now he's going to call timeout as he doesn't like what he sees. So that's I believe that's the 2nd timeout.
That is their second timeout
of the first quarter for the Indians. There's still 33 seconds remaining in the first quarter of play. So right now, the Indians' offense not looking as crisp as it did last week when I saw it against Southern. Now, the Red Tornadoes are partially responsible for that. Some penalties are responsible for that, and they had the fumble. So far, at least, they're starting a little slow, and they're down 12-0. Here in the first quarter because of that.
Right.
But the Red Tornadoes just look, again, much quicker. And
I think you're right. I think, we're looking at a size difference between the two teams. We're looking at maybe a maturity or an age difference. We're running, of course, Tornadoes are running with very young kids, but I'll tell you what, very enthusiastic kids and very quick off the ball. And I think that's where their play is coming from. It's their quickness.
All right, the Indians will come out of that timeout. Again, it's 3rd down and 11. They're on their own 31-yard line here as he has everybody out to the now he had everybody out to the left. Now he brings Montgomery out to the right. So one guy right, one guy left. He brings Montgomery now in motion back the other way. He drops straight back to pass. He's trying to find Forbes on a screen pass. Forbes looking for some room. Nice play by Forbes.
Blocking the back there.
And They're going to bring Forbes down around the 35-yard.
Yeah.
A nice run by Forbes. Not enough
Yes,
for
it
the
was.
first down, but that was a nice run by Forbes.
Nice
For
run.
a big guy.
For how big he is, you're right. That's a screen pass. You'd think it would go to Busan or Montgomery, somebody a little bit smaller, a little bit quicker.
Here you see the replay.
Yep. But he ran more lateral than he did anything else, and that's what really helped the Tornadoes in that case.
Now, there was a block in the back there, as you saw, which exactly was that. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of the first quarter play here at the Silver Bowl with the score. The Red Tornadoes 12, the Indians 0. Nicely played first quarter for the Red Tornadoes. They've got to be happy, Wayne.
Well, I'll tell you what. I think both teams came out in the first quarter, played with a lot of enthusiasm. But, the Tornadoes scored first, and that always deflates you a little bit. The Indians did not come back with any big play other than, they fumbled the ball again. You shoot yourself in the foot, and Tornadoes scored at the end of the first quarter. So, that enthusiasm only goes so far. Now you put your cards on the table, and now you got to play the game.
Now the Indians, the other side of this coin for the Indians, they've had no field position whatsoever.
Right,
the whole game's been played between their 40-yard line and the goal. So that's the other problem, and we saw that last week for the Red Tornadoes. When you're pinned against the goal line all the time, you're kind of limited in what it is you want to be doing.
It's just straight dive plays. That's about it. That's all you can run. There's no passing from back there. We've seen that last week when Tornadoes, for a full half of a football game, never got past their own 20-yard line.
Well, so the same thing for the Indians. They're struggling with field position here, and they're in a punt formation to start the second quarter of play. Forbes is standing about his 21. He should be kicking it somewhere around his 25.
And here's the thing. You take your quarterback. Your quarterback is now the center on long punts.
Yeah. Forbes will let it rip. A line drive that bounces down, covered in there very quickly by the Indians. That's Nairns that was down almost as the ball hit the ground. Nairns was even with it, so he downs it. The Red Tornadoes no chance to pick it up. So it's 1st and 10 for the Red Tornadoes with the ball just at the 26-yard line.
And not only does he play quarterback, long snapper, but he's also the linebacker on the left side.
He's a pretty versatile quarterback.
He is.
You don't see many quarterbacks being a long snapper, though. That's a new one for me there.
But he's got to be a tired quarterback at the end of the game, let me tell you.
Yeah, you don't see many quarterbacks be the long snapper in a football game.
Because I know Jared had put 120% into the game from beginning to end.
All right, I formation for the Red Tornadoes, and it's Lamb. And Lamb turns the corner up over the 30-yard line, out to around the 34-yard line where he finally went out of bounds. Stopped down there by Montgomery, number 32, for the Indians.
Nothing fancy for the Tornadoes here. They're just handing off. They're trying to seal off the end, and you can see there's the second time that Lamb one guy, and it was Montgomery. Montgomery played a fantastic game against Southern Area last week. He was around the ball just about every play or in on a tackle, and he makes the tackle on Lamb.
2nd and 1. It was a 9-yard pickup. 9-yard pickup for Lamb as they go in an I formation once again, and this time it goes back to Lamb, and Lamb will cross over the 35 out to the 38, pick up the first down. Tillett on the tackle for the Indians along with Henley. So the Red Tornadoes move the chains as they have been fairly potent offensively here. On the ground.
On the
ground more than anything. They haven't completed a pass so far.
Number 6 for the Tornadoes, Shoestack Bobby goes in.
All right, the I formation once again. And now he's going to go back to pass. He's looking back down there for Shoestack, the other Shoestack, the brother of number 34. It's Bobby Shoestack, and too long. So Stewart still cannot find his range yet in the passing game, and it's going to bring up a 2nd and 10 as a result.
That's going to take time for him. That's all that is, just a timing pass. You put the ball up and let your receiver run underneath it.
Pulowski now back in the game at the tailback spot. Shoestack up in front of him. We have everybody split out to the left of the formation, and it's Pulowski. And Pulowski picks and chooses his way, and Forbes will finally put the end of the picking and choosing up around the 40-yard line.
And they called the ball dead before it came out.
So it's going to be 3rd down and 9 now for the Red Tornadoes. right, we'll stay in an I formation. We'll stay split out to the left. And he's going to look left, rolls out. He has Shoestack, and Shoestack, a nice catch, but also a nice tackle immediately down there by Haddock.
Haddock made a great play. Haddock fell on the ground there, and he actually made the tackle from his knees.
So it'll bring up a 4th and 5 for the Red Tornadoes, and they'll be punting the ball.
And that brings up a 4th and 4 for the Red Tornadoes.
It's the first time they go Shoestack out of the backfield into the flat. We tried that down close to the end zone in the end of the first quarter, and couldn't quite get him out for the for the 2-point conversion.
Roman in to do the punting chores, and he'll be kicking down to the Indians down there, and he's kicking down there to Montgomery, it looks like. Montgomery goes over his head and out of bounds. No, it never goes out of bounds. Down around the 22-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10 Indians from their 22, and that's where they've played most of this game, around their own 20-yard line.
Now, you know, and we said this before, we're down to 9:42 here in the second quarter. Shamokin is more of a grind-out team. They don't have anybody, no speedsters back there that are going to break your back if they get out in the open. And, of course, you see the 2 quarterbacks right now are actually struggling trying to throw the ball. So I don't think on either side of offense that the passing game is working.
All right, he has Montgomery in there behind Forbes now at the tailback spot. And he goes back to pass. He looks downfield, and he's got Forbes. The big guy's out in the air out there. He's being brought down by Minnick, but not before he gets out to the 35-yard line. It's 1st and 10 Indians.
And that's just a fake dive play. Forbes leading. He comes through the line right there in front of you, and it's just a little drop pass for him to pick up, and he gets 11 yards on that play and the first down.
First big play of the game for the Indians. Dorenzo now back into the ball game at the tailback spot for Shamokin. Haddock under center again in the I. That's where they spend most of the game, and now we're going to have an offside, I believe, against the Red Tornadoes. I'm not sure if anybody moved on the Indian side.
57 did move, but I think we're going to be called for offside, and it is.
So a 5-yard penalty defensively against the Red Tornadoes. It'll be 1st and 5, and the ball up now to the 40-yard line of the Indians, the best field position they've had so far in this game. All right, split backfield now. And it's the up guy, Forbes. And Forbes churning his way. Shoestack all over Forbes. He's going to gain maybe a yard. I'm not even sure he got the yard out of that one. As a good play by Shoestack prevented Forbes. Forbes was in a very close formation right up against the line almost.
Yeah, they're just trying to get him. They needed 5 yards. I think they were looking for a quick opening in the offensive line right there and try to get him to barrel his way up.
So to bring up 2nd down and 4, a long 4, because he didn't quite make the yard there for the Indians. We go in a split backfield now. Dorenzo and Forbes, and it's Forbes again.
Ball's on the ground. Haddock dropped it.
I'm sorry, he fumbled. You're right.
Yep.
I think he was handing it to Forbes, and he missed it.
I think they were running the option play to Dorenzo that time, number 34. He was trailing along the back, and Forbes knocked the ball out of Haddock's hand.
Yep. I said I thought he was handing it to Forbes because that's where it hit at. So a little timing problem in the backfield results in a fumble. They recover it, but it makes it now 3rd and 7 for the Indians. And that was a play. It's first we've seen that attempt at that play tonight. Right. Now they go back more traditionally into the I formation. They have Busan out to the left here in a penalty flag again. And a timeout. It's a timeout, I think.
Shamokin.
Shamokin called a timeout at the snap of the ball in the 3rd and 7 call. And that's all of their timeouts for the half. They've used them. So take a moment here in the timeout here to say a thank you, of course. We're at home for the first time in 2009. I look behind me, and I have a table full of food from Boyers Market right across the way here. The Boyers Family Market, I want to take a moment to say that they're having their grand reopening.
Yes.
Completely remodeled the entire store from the floor up, and it looks fantastic. Absolutely looks fantastic. So I want to thank them for the food, Mike Morawski and all the gang over there for thinking of us. And obviously, not thinking of my heart, but but I don't care. I'll forgive them.
You actually have one?
Well, it's all clogged up apparently from over here.
Okay.
But I do appreciate that they do that. And again, they're such good neighbors to us in their parking lot and things like that. If you get a chance, stop over at Boyers and see the new store. You're going to be very happy you did. All right, a big 3rd and 7 play for the Indians, big enough that they took a timeout to talk about it. And they'll come out in a I formation, so they don't talk a lot about formation here. They do the same thing. One guy right, one guy left. And it's a fake, and Haddock dropped the ball.
Haddock drops the ball.
He dropped the football, and the Red Tornadoes have recovered the football at the 14-yard line. Getting off the fumble recovery down there is Tommy Hynoski. But it was number 10, I believe.
Yes, it was.
Juraski
was the one that did it.
Knocked the ball right out of Haddock's hand. Here you see the replay. Now the ball's on the ground. And what a play by Juraski, and then a recovery by Hynoski, and the Indians are in trouble again as the Red Tornadoes set up shop 1st and 10 at the 15-yard line of the Indians. We're at the 7:27 mark of the second quarter of play here. The Red Tornadoes leading 12-0, and they're threatening again. So big defensive plays by the Red Tornadoes, and this Red Death defense is definitely asserting itself so far here tonight.
Again, it's the speed coming in. They're having a hard time. Shamokin's having a hard time controlling it.
Pitched out to Pulowski. Pulowski will pick up about 3 yards, till it on the stop for the Indians.
Number 53 making the stop for the Shamokin area Indians.
I'm gonna have to. I think Coach Chesney told me what that formation's called, but I naturally forgot it. But it's an odd formation. You see how they line up heavy
on
to one side all the time. And he did say the name of it, and I totally forgot it because I really don't know anything about football. I'm only here to talk about it. All right. Second down now. Stewart goes under center. Pulowski, the lone back. We're in that same heavy lineup, and we're heavy to the short side of the field. We go the other way.
And he's hitting the
outside. Pulowski's looking to get the outside, and Pulowski is going to be horse-collared down there around the 2-yard line by Haddock. But Haddock saved the touchdown, but it's 1st and goal for the Red Tornadoes, and I can't see. They're at the one.
It looks like the 1, maybe 1.5 yard line here.
Wait till they come to the middle of the field, and I'll get a better look because they're at the far end there. But there you saw the play. The replay of that, you see Haddock saving the touchdown. And I said horse collar, but that wasn't the penalty horse collar. In high school, that's also a penalty now.
Yes.
So I apologize. I didn't mean to say that he did anything wrong, but he brought him down. I almost forgot that they changed that rule now. You see the word horse collar, and you expect to see a penalty flag on the field. All right. 1st and goal from the 1-yard line. Kind of an offset eye, and it's going to be Pulowski, and Pulowski bulls his way in. He looked right at Montgomery and said, okay, I'll go right at you, and knock Montgomery back into the end zone, and it's a Red Tornado touchdown. It's 18-0 Red Tornadoes here in the second quarter. Here's the replay, and watch, boom, lowered his head right at Montgomery and took him into the end zone.
Tornadoes, again, with their blocking schemes and everything else, again, much quicker than the Shamokin team. Shamokin coming in with the larger defensive line, from tight end or from defensive end to defensive end.
Red Tornadoes will go for 2 as they've been unsuccessful on the first 2. And this time Stewart is going to try to take it into the end zone himself, and he's going to take it in. The 2-point conversion good for Eddie Stewart. And once again, Montgomery was on the receiving end of that hit at the goal line.
I'll tell you what, though, Montgomery will not give up.
No, he didn't give any ground that way.
Nope, he'll be in there all night long.
So Montgomery having 2 tough plays on the goal line, but the Red Tornadoes now lead in this football game at the 6:14 mark of the second quarter. It's 20-0 Red Tornadoes. Now the Indians, at least from my perspective at this one point here, they're moping around over there, and they kind of had that long walk over there. They got to get themselves straightened out. There's a lot of game to play, and they have the ability Now, I mean, again, if they suffer one problem here, it is they just cannot throw the ball well. They're not doing that at all, and it's making the Red Tornadoes to look like an 8 and 9 box there.
Right.
So it's very difficult to run the ball under those conditions too. So they need to be able to open this field up a little bit.
Well, they're trying that. They're
they
trying
hit Forbes.
They're putting double slots to either side. They're put their trips on one side. They're trying to spread the defensive line out to get Forbes and Dorenzo up through that line. Now, they did hit Forbes for a 12-yard pass there in the last one when they brought him through from the backfield out.
All right, Hiroman signals he's ready. And Hiroman lets it rip. And this is a short one now. This is going to go to Busan at the 18-yard line. So a return, but not much of a return on the stop. Lamb for the 24. Red Tornadoes. So he takes the ball up to about the 20. A little chippiness going on the field down there now, which occurs during this type of game. Mm-hmm. But we get past that, and we'll set up shop 1st and 10 at just over the 25-yard line where they finally placed the ball. So just at the 26, we'll call it for the Indians. Now, the Indians need to move the ball here. I mean, this is a fairly crucial offensive series, I think.
This is their series. They have to do it. They have to put it over the goal line.
And now they have a new offensive set, the heavy eye backfield, which we have not seen so far tonight. And the Red Tornadoes took a timeout because they had not seen it yet either. That's the first we've seen them line up that way.
Trying to see if they needed a player out there.
I don't know that. I don't know if they did. Maybe they were short a guy.
Yeah, they were. They were short one man.
A definite new wrinkle for the Indians as they go into a power eye formation. Remember, folks, as I tell you every week, you're seeing us on a Wednesday night, tomorrow night, Supper Club. Backroom Matucci's, 6:30. All that's football in Mount Carmel area there. The coaches are there. The kids are there. We'll have 3 or 4 kids there. We'll talk about this game. We'll talk about the upcoming game at Shikellamy, which is our next game on Friday night.
That's right.
And just a great time. I said come down for one night, come down for all the nights. It doesn't matter. You can come down if you know that the kid being recognized, one of the boys that's going to be there. If you know him or neighbor, come on down. Show them your support. But you can't go wrong. It's just a great football night for Mount Carmel area. Thursday nights in the back room Matucci's, and I don't need to tell you about Matucci's food because that speaks for itself. So you can you know what you're going to get there. All right, here we go. In the power eye now for the Indians. And they're going to do that sweep where they send everybody and Haddock's got himself some room, and it works. As Haddock comes upfield on a big gain for the Indians, he's out to the 37-yard line. Now, we saw that at Southern. I don't know if they came out of that particular formation, but we saw that where they bring everybody one way and Haddock tries to follow the train, and they had some success. In fact, the touchdown that was set up by that play when they played Southern last week. So they have success with that play, and we'll see what they continue to do there because they have Napick in that backfield now, along with Forbes and Dorenzo. And now they went the other way, and they got Forbes, and Forbes brought down at the 40-yard line very quickly down there by Hiroman and Hynoski. There you see the great picture of Forbes coming at you, but initially he actually tripped up down there by Juraski.
Juraski,
the guy
number 10.
That got him off his feet as he was coming past him. So it's 2nd down and 9, a gain of 1 yard on that play. 5:28 and counting here in the second quarter, and they stay in that heavy formation. It's Dorenzo. No, I'm sorry, Haddock. Haddock on the keeper, and Haddock will get stopped right around the 44-yard line where he's piled up by 4 or 5 guys. Shustak getting off the bottom of that pile. Looks like Hynoski getting off the bottom of the pile. So it'll bring up 3rd down now and about 3rd down and 4, but a long 4, almost 5. In fact, it's actually 5. I'm going to go with 5 on this one. It's long enough to be 5 yards. So 3rd and 5. The ball just inside the Indian 45-yard line. And they stay in that heavy backfield now. Haddock back to pass, and he finds his man. A nice catch by Busan out at the 49-yard line of the Red Tornadoes, and that's enough for an Indian first down, and the Indians are on the move.
That is just a slant play to Busan, and he had to go down on the ground for that one.
Yeah, he made a nice play, he really did. He's a talented receiver.
Yep.
We have not seen much of him this year so far, but if they can start getting the ball out to him, he can show you what he can do.
Tommy Nairn's number 12 comes in for him.
He's the one speed guy really on,
Yes.
on the team there with the kind of speed that can hurt you. Montgomery now. Montgomery, a big head of steam, and the Indians have found some success with this new backfield formation as they're down at the Red Tornado 40-yard line now. Pickup of 9 yards on the play. It's 2nd and 1. They are having success with the extra blocker now in that backfield.
Busan is back in for Shamokin.
They'll stay in that same backfield where the success has been in the heavy I formation. Go the other way now. Montgomery's going to be tripped up by Hiroman, but he'll pick up a first down. It's 1st and 10 Indians.
Yeah, picked up a good 6 yards that time.
They're down at the Red Tornado 37-yard line. You see the hole. He had a big hole there. Hiroman did a nice job, but the hole was there. So Montgomery will go out, and Dorenzo will come back in. And again, they are just going to stay in that formation and see what happens here until the Red Tornadoes can stop it. Pitch to Dorenzo now. Smirlik brought down in the backfield. He was, I thought almost tackled on that one, but I'm not going to go there.
Yeah.
A big pickup again, and the Indians are marching. The Indians are on the move.
Yeah, they're on the move. They found some success there with the power backfield, power I, either going right or left, and they're not hitting too much into the center of the line. They're doing more tackle to the outside.
2nd down and 3 from the Red Tornado 30-yard line. 2:44 remaining here in the first half of play, and there's an offside penalty against the Indians, and that's the kind of thing that kills you when you're rolling along there. So it's going to be 2nd down and 8 now instead of 2nd down and 3 when they mark that penalty off. There you see the call by the referee. And we'll start it over, only this time we'll start it from the 35-yard line. Indians will come out. They'll send Busan out to the very short side of the field. Nobody's out to the wide side of the field at all. And they go up the middle with Forbes. And Forbes bulls his way for 5 yards. Brought down there by Hiroman, it looks like, number 82.
And again, they're looking for Forbes, to pick up his 5 yards on the carry, and it's exactly what he's doing here.
Now it's 3rd down and 4 now for the Indians. He picked about 4 up on the play. Dorenzo on a handoff. Dorenzo's got some room. And Dorenzo.
Who was that?
Whoever it was saved the touchdown.
Number
That's
3, Minnick. Marky Minnick. Tyler Dorenzo coming through right here in front of you. Coming through. Great block by Forbes that time. And Marky Minnick held on to the ankles, or Tyler Dorenzo was gone.
Now it's 1st and 10 from the Red Tornado 24-yard line, but the clock continues to tick, and the Indians have no timeouts. They've used all their timeouts already, and now they're battling against the clock, and it's Montgomery
to the outside.
Pulowski and Hiroman on the stop for the Red Tornadoes with big yardage again as the Red Tornado defense now bending in front of this Indian onslaught as the Indians have found success with their new formation.
But the clock is still running down to 1 minute and 15 seconds.
So the Indians respond. Just when I thought they had their heads down, they come out breathing fire on offense. And Montgomery, again, Hiroman on the stop. Didn't gain much on that play as Hiroman was right there along with
They're going to give him
Hynoski.
2 yards close to the first down. They're going to give his forward motion. They might even measure this one.
It's 3rd and 1. And as we said, the Indians need to hurry this up.
Yep.
And now,
What did I tell you?
now they're going to
measure.
call a measurement, which, you know, if you were going to measure that, why didn't you measure it right away?
I don't know.
I don't quite get that.
Well, the one referee stood at the spot where the forward motion ended.
All right, they're going to measure it down, and he is. We're working a real stretch on that one.
He is short.
He's short.
No,
Oh,
they're
no,
going
he's
to
not.
give it to him.
Whoa. Why, no. He does not make. Come on, he didn't make it.
What did the guy with the white hat just do?
I'm looking
Excuse
at
me.
I know.
What did he do?
Signaled the first
Okay.
down. I'm looking at the TV. I'm thinking, we are a camera. You guys saw this better than we did on the TV. I'm thinking, what is he doing there? All right. So everybody gets a little confused. I'll give him that one. God knows I've done it a few times, but I'm thinking, what are we looking at here? And we gave that chain a good stretch there. I thought we were going to break a link on that one. I don't know what we were doing there. All right, it's third down, and as you saw it, it's third down and actually less than one, as there's still a conversation out at the ball by the referees. I'm not sure what we're talking about now.
Is it at the scoreboard? No.
I don't think so, unless they want more time on there. All right, folks, the Indians and the Red Tornadoes both have come back onto the field here, getting ready for the second half. The red and white painted young man in the middle of the field with the flag. I wonder if his parents know that he's dressed like that right now. There you see him. I don't know who that is, but I tell you what, you know, that takes a lot of guts to do that. I mean, to paint yourself up and end up in the middle of the field like that in front of this big crowd. My hat's off to whoever that is. Well, and I'm sure sooner or later we'll get his name. We'll talk about him in a broadcast, but that is pretty cool to see. So the coaching staff for the Red Tornadoes walking out here in front of us. The Red Tornadoes now and both teams on the sideline. And again, the first half was mostly all Mount Carmel until the last 5 minutes of the half, where the Indians, after they got scored on and went down 20-0, and we thought maybe they were struggling, you know, both with motivation and what was going on in their head, come out like gangbusters, march right down the field, and put a score on the board against the Red Tornadoes with only a couple seconds left in a half. So back to a game again. And the Red Tornadoes, and I thought that was interesting that Jose had told me, which I didn't realize, was that we were only on the offensive field for 8 minutes in the entire half, which I thought was unusual because it seemed like we were doing more than that. But we're going to have to change that a little bit if we, you know, expect to continue to win that game on the Red Tornado side of the ball. And the Indians, I mean, they have it pretty much set for them to come out in the power eye and do what you were doing because they found success at it.
They have to start the second half here exactly the way they ended the first half. They scored with about maybe 40 seconds left on the clock in that first half. Drove down, had a beautiful drive all the way down and punched it in for their score. Although did not convert on the extra point. That's why the score now is 20-6.
It's unusual to see Forbes mix an extra point, that's for sure. I mean, I already called it good before he kicked it, and then he goes and misses it on me. But that's something you don't see very often. I will say that for him. So the Red Tornadoes need to stay on offense a little bit here, obviously. When they are on offense, they do very well. In fact, the 3 times they're on offense, they scored. So they're doing very well that way.
When you think back, it was 2 short drives, 2 fumble recoveries, one on the 15 down here in the south end zone, and up in the north end zone, they recovered the ball when Forbes dropped it for the second score. So they were only short drives, 1 or 2, 3, 4 plays, I think, on each of the drives, and they punched it in. So you're not really taking much time off that clock.
There you see the captains. You can see Demko, 65, not dressed, and you only have to ask yourself, you know, what would be different in this game if he was playing, you know, both ways that he does in the game? What would be different? We'll never know. And I know he feels so badly about it, being a senior, misses the first 2 games of his senior year, and he's signed at West Virginia. I mean, he's recruited and signed at West Virginia. So I guess a lot of things going through his head. We only hope that, you know, next week when we're at Shamokin, we see him suited up and back to his old self again. But that's something we can just say a little prayer about, because you hate to see that happen to a kid, especially in the senior year where he can't play. The Indians suffered that last year with the Dorenzo boy,
Yes.
where he couldn't play last year for a medical reason, which definitely changed their offense so much and their game plan because
And I
of
think
that.
it was the week before we played them.
Yes,
in
I
fact.
believe that's when he stopped playing. So it happens to everybody, I guess, but you hate to see it. And he was an impact player for the Indians last year, and Demko, obviously an all-state guy. He's an impact player for the Red Tornadoes. So we'll see how that plays out as the season progresses. But right now, up front here, we got to think about how the second half's going to progress here at the Silver Bowl.
Tornadoes received the ball, I think, in this half.
Yep, they will receive. So they'll go on offense here. Forbes will do the kicking off for the Indians, I believe. Yeah, here he comes. The big guy. He's like head and shoulders above everybody on the field, that guy. I'll tell you what. Let's see what.
And what a great kid, too. I mean, he's just a fantastic kid to be with. Great kid in the hall. Great student academically.
6'3", 240, so it's a good thing he's a great kid because he was like a mean one. You'd be in all kinds of trouble with him in the hallway. The size of him going down the hallway. All right, he tees it up and signals that he's ready. Down deep for the Red Tornadoes is Lamb, Pulowski, and Minnick. And we are underway, and he pooch kicks it away from the Indians. Again, Shustak this time picks it up. This time Shustak actually picked it up, and Shustak on a nice return. Cody Shustak for the Red Tornadoes out over the 40-yard line, out to the 43-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10 Red Tornadoes.
Looks like Jared Montgomery in on that tackle.
Now they're purposely kicking away from the speed of the Red Tornadoes. They're not kicking it deep down there. But this time, the last time we saw that happen, Shustak was on his knees when he got it, so it was down. This time, alertly, he was ready for it and picked up some big yardage. So a nice field position for the Red Tornado offense here as they start the second half. Pulowski at the tailback, and it looks like it's Hynoski at that fullback spot. And Pulowski looking for the outside, and he's not going to get there. That's big number 57. That's
Jake Phillips.
Jake Phillips, on the stop. Phillips, a great play for the Indians as he throws Pulowski down. A big loss on the play, and a Red Tornado player is on the field, and that, I think, is number 75 for the Red Tornadoes. I'm trying to see.
No, 85.
Is that Stuchkavich then?
Yep.
So it looks like he's down, and it'll be a timeout on the field as they attend to Mr. Stuchkavich. A loss on the play of 3. It'll bring up 2nd and 13 for the Red Tornadoes. And they were so crisp offensively in the first half. They need to do that again if they want to stay in this game because the Indian offense has come to life.
Yes, they have.
That pass from Haddock to Busan was picture perfect. That really was.
Oh, that was right on. You couldn't have run a better pattern. Busan, Timmy, ran a great pattern right off the line of scrimmage, going to the corner, and the ball was laid up perfect for him.
Spending some time with Stuchkavich down there as they want to be very careful what they do down there. It doesn't look like a cramp because usually you can see the leg up in the air, so it's something different than that right now. I won't speculate on what it might be because I couldn't even speculate on the extra point attempt without screwing that up. So they're going to bring him off there. You see him coming off the field. And very gingerly, not putting a lot of weight on that leg at all. So Mike will make his way to the sidelines, and the Red Tornadoes will go on offense with a 2nd down and 13. It'll be an interesting game next year, the last game of the season, won't it?
Yes, it will.
All kinds of possibilities going through my head. Although a little bit of the rub of coming off of that is that they'll go to Division I instead of 2 next year because of their enrollment. There won't be a division game, so it won't come down to who wins the division in that game. But that's the only thing that's not involved, and everything else is up for grabs. All right, an I formation for the Red Tornadoes. Stewart back to pass. He's under pressure. He's going to carry the ball, and he's going to go down hard. Stopping him down there for the Shamokin Indians was
Mark Napick, number 26. He comes in from the guard. I think he's playing the guard position now.
So the Red Tornadoes steadily going backwards here on this first offensive series. It's now 3rd and 18 for the Red Tornadoes, a 5-yard loss on that play, and they do not look like the same offensive team we saw in the first half.
What do you think,
Lamb
a screen pass?
and Bobby Shoestack, the brother of Cody, now in there.
And Lamb into the Red Tornado lineup.
What do you think? Screen?
It could be. We're going to go with a double split on either side there. Shotgun formation. And he's got his guy Lamb, and Lamb's going to be very close to the first down, but
No,
I'm sorry,
he's not.
he's close to the original marker.
Yep, original line of scrimmage.
Going to bring up 4th down and about 10, and the Red Tornadoes will be forced to kick the ball here. 11-14 into the third quarter, and that offensive series was not one to remember for the Red Tornadoes.
Number 10, Kim Busan, and receiving position. Number 82, CJ Roman, punt formation.
Roman going to punt. He's going to punt down to the lone receiving back for the Indians. That's Busan down around the 28-yard line of the Indians. Center snap is back. Big rush by the Indians and a nice punt. It's going to bounce, and Busan lets it get behind him, and that's something he shouldn't have done. The ball's going to roll dead down inside the Indian 10-yard line at the 8-yard line. That's one you fall on if you have to.
Yeah, Lamb was down there in the shot, along with Tommy Hynoski and Tyler Hodge. They were down in shot, and you could see Busan picking his head up and looking at that rush coming on, and instead of concentrating on the ball, he left it get behind him.
So a great punt by Hiroman, and the Indians down at their 8-yard line where it's 1st and 10, and of course they come out in that backfield that they had such success with, the heavy I formation, full house backfield back there, and they go to Dorenzo, and this time the Red Tornadoes back up Dorenzo right at the line of scrimmage almost.
It picked up maybe about a half a yard that time. Dorenzo veered a little bit to the left. He did not follow his 2 lead blockers up through the hole and came right into the wash of the Tornadoes defense.
Half a yard gain on the play. 2nd and 9.5.
And 2nd down and 9 now for the Indians. Napick, the other guy. Napick does not touch the ball in this formation, though. He's yet to carry the ball. It's
He's
always
just a blocker.
Dorenzo.
Yep.
Dorenzo picks up a couple of yards out over the 10 to about the 11-yard line. So it'll bring up 3rd down and about 7.
26, Mark Napick, the ball carrier, picks up 2, brings up a 3rd and a long 7.
Tornadoes seem to have readjusted to the power I.
Well, he's basically telling the Indians from the formation they are on defense now is throw the ball if you can, but we're not going to let you run it at us right now. Look how tight that defensive formation is.
Busan out here. Pulowski is on top of him, and that's where we're going.
Ooh, that one went up in the air. I'm not sure where he was throwing that. And you can see that he got it out of his hand wrong because it was spinning the wrong way from the start, and it's 4th down. And the Indians will end up kicking from their goal line, so field position now back in the Red Tornado favor here, as Forbes will initially line up in the end zone, but probably kick from the goal line or so. The Red Tornadoes.
The last time they punted, it looked like Maloney or somebody came through and almost blocked that.
Pulowski standing in Indian territory again.
And it is blocked.
They blocked it, and they fall on it, and it's a touchdown for the Red Tornadoes. There it is. They got it. You're right. You're absolutely right, Wayne. That's Minnick on the recovery in the end zone. Wayne, you called it perfectly. They came right at Forbes. They blocked the kick in the end zone, and it's a touchdown for the Red Tornadoes.
I don't know. I mean, there was a wash coming in.
I'm not sure who
from
kicked
this side.
it. Yeah.
Who blocked it? I have no clue.
But Minnick on the recovery, and it's 26-6. Red Tornadoes here, as that couldn't have gone worse for the Indians if it tried.
So much for trying to pick up time on the offensive side here.
Oh, my God,
today.
there's actually 2 of those people painted red and white there. That's so in for the extra point, and this time looks like we're going to kick it. We've had our travails on the extra point as far as the Red Tornadoes are concerned here. Roman will line it up, and we're already in trouble here. Somebody goes offside, and it's us. So the Red Tornadoes on a offside motion penalty here. It'll back them up even further. So when we look at the films, if you're a Red Tornado fan, or you're a Red Tornado player, you're not going to look at the extra point attempts. So there you see I'm sorry, it's against the Indians. I'm sorry, it's an offside on the Indians. Initially, I thought it was a motion penalty by the way he used his arms there.
No, he blew through what the right tackle came through and made contact.
Okay. So Roman now a yard closer for his extra point. He's yet to make one this year. Snap is down, ball is up, and it is good. So Mr. Haroman has his very first extra point attempt made, and he's on the scoreboard, and it's 27-6 Red Tornadoes here with 9:37 remaining in the third quarter of play. And there is the key to football sometimes is field position.
Oh,
they
definitely
got themselves stuck at the 8-yard line. They couldn't get out from there, and then they had a kick out of their end zone, and things just went downhill from there.
Yeah, you gotta close up on that line, the offensive line when you're punting like that, and make sure nobody gets in, especially when Forbes is standing in the end zone.
Yeah, I couldn't see who blocked it. I wish I could tell you that. Jose will know who that was. But I did not see. There was 4 of them or so there.
Yeah, and there was just, like I said, there was a wash that came through there, and I have no clue who did it.
All right. Roman getting ready to kick it off. TJ is now with a point to the good on the extra point finally after the season. And I'm pretty impressed with him in his first year of kicking, though. I'll tell you what.
Yes, doing an excellent job.
He signals that he is indeed ready, and he'll let it rip. Another high kick all the way down to the 3-4-yard line where Montgomery's coming up field. Oh, my goodness, what a collision of everybody in the middle of that field. I'll tell you what,
I think he hit his own 56.
Yeah, he ran harder into his own guy than he did anybody from the Red Tornado
Cole
side.
Napick.
And actually 56 is getting up a little bit shaken up. What a hit that was.
Yeah.
The ball out to the 26-yard line. We're really first and 10, but boy, what a collision that was of like 4 or 5 guys that time.
But that's what I say about Montgomery. Montgomery comes at you, and he continues, to give 110%. Timeout, Tornadoes.
Kind of an unusual timeout there. I'm not sure.
I think
who we wanted, or we had everybody in there.
We were lacking 2 guys, I think, at that point.
Usually in the second game of the season, you pretty much get behind that kind of stuff. You pretty much know if you're supposed to be on the field or not. And again, that'll be another Coach Chesney
discussion.
You wish you didn't have it happen to you. Ever since his fire and brimstone speech in the middle of the field there, though, he's been fairly calm and things have been going his way, so I guess it worked. I hope he's not on blood pressure medication, though.
If not, he should be.
Yes. He's such a fun guy. I'll tell you, at Supper Club, he is the neatest guy to have talked to you. He is absolutely a riot when he's talking to you, and he's funny, and he's making jokes about stuff. And, I mean, he's telling you everything you ask him, but he is the way he presents it at Supper Club, the whole place is in stitches all the time when he's done talking to you. And one thing about him, you get coaches sometimes are like cryptic about what's happening. I'll tell you what.
He tells you
right down to whether or not their underwear are dry for the game. He tells you it all. He doesn't hold anything back when you're at the dinner having a talk with him. All right, 1st and 10 Indians. They back into the regular I formation with Busan in motion. We pitch it back to Dorenzo, and Shustak is all over Dorenzo, and he'll gain no yardage on the play. It'll bring up a 2nd and 10.
I don't know.
There's too much speed here. They cannot get rolling.
They cannot. They put a gap. They leave a little gap in there, and one of the Tornadoes are through to make the tackle. They were doing much better when they had that full house backfield, that powerhouse backfield.
But even that got stopped here in the second.
Yeah, it did. But at least they had that one extra back to block.
Now he puts Forbes out in a split formation. Forbes out as a wide receiver in the formation. And we're going to pitch it, and it's going to go inside to Dorenzo, and Dorenzo is going to be brought down by Tommy Hajnowski, who's having a great defensive game for the Red Tornadoes. He's all over the place along with Shustak. He had some help down there from Lamb.
And Lamb.
But it's a gain of a yard on the play.
I think they bring Forbes out to do some blocking.
I guess that's what they did,
because it was a pitch out to Dorenzo coming to that side.
Yeah, it looks like they were trying to get him in a blocking. You don't see that very often, but that's what they apparently were doing, but to no avail. The Indians return back to their standard. Well, I shouldn't say that. Now they're in a split backfield. We've only seen this once or twice so far in the game. And Haddock goes straight back to throw. He rolls out, looks downfield. Nice catch.
Forbes.
But Forbes will be drugged out of bounds by Tommy Hynoski again. And it's going to be 4th down as he gained only 3 yards on the play. It'll bring up 4th and about 6 or 7. So a nice play by Tommy Hynoski as he's all over the place on defense tonight. And something you might like to hear about Tommy Hynoski is that he's a sophomore, 5'11", 186. So you'll hear a lot more about Mr. Hynoski in years to come.
I think you're going to hear a lot about this team. They're going to play as a group.
A lot of talent here. Forbes kicks it kind of sideways. No one's near it. Takes a good Indian bounce at the last moment all the way down to the Red Tornado 30-yard line where it's 1st and 10. Red Tornadoes looked like a horrible kick at first, but it was going sideways, and then it took a downfield bounce and picked up some yardage. So back at the 30-yard line, it's 1st and 10, and it's, again, 27-6 with 7:49 remaining here in the 3rd quarter of play on an absolutely gorgeous night for the Coal Bucket. Now, next year, the Coal Bucket's going to be a rather cold game. It's at the end of October, November there. It's going to be a little chillier than it is tonight.
Although you got to remember that game used to be played on Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah.
How times have changed.
Minnick in motion that time. We pitch it to Pulowski, trying to get Pulowski outside. Pulowski switches fields, totally switches fields, makes a nice cut, and what a run by Pulowski.
Let me see, 82. 82.
From us?
T.J. Hiroman.
Yeah.
Hiroman looked at Pulowski coming across the field from the other side, turned around and continued to block on the left-hand side of the field. I don't know if you're going to pick this out. Look at it. He's coming back this way. And TJ, he just tenacious blocking right down in front, continued. And look at, there he is.
Picked up. Look at the speed, though. That's like you make that turn and switch field. Now, there's 2 players down. 1 Indian and 1 Red Tornado are down on the field. So we're in a timeout situation once again here. The Tornado looks to be Abumar, if I'm guessing. I'm trying to
57.
I think it's Abumar, and I can't read the number. The Indian has a cramp. I can see what they're doing with him.
I can't
see his number at all, but I know what's wrong with him.
That might be Mark Napick. It looks like it's 26.
26, the small guy there. So he's got himself a cramp. You can see they're working on him. I do not know what Abumar's problem is. But whatever it is, he got up, and he's under his own power, and he's going to head off the field. So he doesn't look in too bad a shape there. They got Napick up, and he's going to gingerly, because I'll tell you what, see that there's a, see that he had the cramp there, and it's not gone yet. I mean, he's still not going to be able to walk real well, as you can tell. That's just such a painful thing. You feel so bad for a kid like that. He's got his toes up in the air. That's the way to know he's doing it. Is his toe is jammed up in the air as he's trying to hold that muscle tight. Or he's trying to loosen that muscle. It's held tight like that with his foot up in the air. All right, so we get both guys off the field. And it's going to be a 1st and 10 as that was a 14-yard pickup by Pulowski. Let's see who comes in there for Abumar. 78 for the Red Tornadoes, I believe, is Matalavich. I think he's the replacement in there. Minnick goes in motion, so now everybody's out to one side of the field, and it's going to be a nice play by number 37. That's Brandon Pisarcik for the Indians as he tripped up Pulowski behind the line of scrimmage for a yard loss on the play. It's 2nd and 11. Wait, how quick was he that time?
Pisarcik played an excellent game last week, showed his speed coming through from the center. If I'm not mistaken, this is Pisarcik's first year playing football.
He's 5'5", 150 pounds, too. I mean,
great wrestler. He's been down in the States the last 2 years. Yes, he has.
Those guys are like rope. You can't tear them apart. They're just wiry. Stewart out of the shotgun. He takes a look around. He's going to go downfield, and he throws an interception. Interception at the Red Tornado 48-yard line by Montgomery, I believe.
32.
Yeah, Montgomery on the interception. Threw it right at him. I mean, here you see it coming at you. I'm not sure what Eddie saw, but you don't want to see that again as he just threw it right at. There he is, right in front of him. So a big turnover for the Red Tornadoes, and the Indian offense goes to work at the Red Tornado 48-yard line, 1st and 10.
6 minutes and 33 seconds left in the third quarter.
I formation again for the Indians. They're out of that power I and back to the regular I, and it's Dorenzo. I'm sorry, it's Haddock, and Haddock's in trouble. Haddock's in big trouble, and Haddock is dumped for a giant loss by Juraski back into Indian territory at the Indian 44-yard line. 42-yard line.
Karicki, Tyler.
44-yard. I don't know why that guy put it down at the 42. Sometimes they're doing that to confuse me. One
guy
standing at the 44. One guy standing at the 44 with his arm up. The other guy goes to the 42 and puts the ball down and walks away. I can't get a break here. It's at the 44, okay? Just so you're sure. It's 2nd and 18 now on a big loss on the tackle by Juraski as he was all over Haddock.
They've tried that play a number of times. Haddock is just a naked bootleg and hasn't worked yet.
Whistle on the play. I don't see a flag. I see a whistle. And timeout Indians. Okay. Indians are not shy about taking timeouts.
No.
So I'll say that
I think last week, if I'm not mistaken, they used all their three timeouts in the one quarter again.
Yes, they did. Yes.
And sort of hurt them towards the end of the game.
So they're under the impression they're here to use, we're going to use them kind of thing. But normally you're always trying to hold on to them. They're still the middle of the third quarter here, and they've used them again. So we'll see if that comes back to haunt them. They have one left now. They've used 2 of them already. So kind of a seesaw game here, except for the mistake in the end zone on the punt.
Oh, yeah.
And that was a costly mistake. It cost them 7 points. So they're down. Indians are down 21 here. And I'm not sure what it is. I think the Red Tornadoes, when I look at Shamokin last week, they had much more success offensively. They really did. But I think the Southern team, at least on that opening game, they do not possess the same speed here as this Red Tornado team.
I don't think they do either. And also, I think if they stay true to history, defensively, Southern always runs a 4-4.
Yes.
It's a different defensive scheme than what the Tornadoes run.
Yeah, that Southern is rebuilding. A lot of young kids. Yes. They look very good in their opening game, but a lot of young kids. It's like everybody. These 3 teams are in a total rebuilding group here. Forbes, and it's a pitch out, to Dorenzo. Dorenzo has the corner finally, and Dorenzo nicely run down the sideline. He's brought out down there by the Red Tornadoes by Karicki.
Pick up of about 13 yards that time.
Yep, he made a nice run. So it's going to bring up a 3rd down now and 8. There you see the sideline view. That's a great camera view there. You don't see that even in the college level. We got the cameras on this. We had a power outage that blinked all the lights in the press box off. I don't know how that's affecting us, but we're definitely showing some problems here. All right, 5:34 in the third quarter, and this will be an interesting call.
Yeah, he's going to.
Is he going to go for it?
I think he looks like he's going to go for it.
It's 4th and 8, and the ball is on the Red Tornado 46, so he's choosing to go for it. This is not one I would have done, but he's down 21, though, so maybe it is a good call. Haddock's going to go back to pass. He's under some pressure right away.
Ball's
looks downfield, and no, almost intercepted down there by Pulowski, but he threw, again, he was under such pressure. He threw off his back foot, and he lobbed it, and couldn't complete the pass, and it's going to be a end of the fourth of the down and turn it over on downs to the Red Tornadoes at the 46. The Red Tornadoes go on offense. Normally I wouldn't have done that, but probably thinking in the third quarter with 5:29, we're down 21. We might as well, see what we can make happen here. But it came back to hurt them a little bit as now the Red Tornadoes start off on the 46. Stewart will go underneath center in that strong, heavy backfield. He's heavy to the right. Pulowski's the lone back, and Pulowski runs it there, and Pulowski is bounced around, eludes a tackle, and a face mask actually is going to be called as he was being tackled, and that's about as inadvertent as a face mask as you can do. But he was so elusive, he was bouncing around, the kid reached up and just touched his face mask.
Well, there are two thoughts there. If you remember the last time the Tornadoes blocked the punt on Forbes, I don't know whether he was thinking about that, but if you look at the preceding series, they held the Tornadoes and actually pushed them back.
Yeah.
So you put them down on the 5-yard line and play a good defense, you're getting better field position.
That's a good way to look at it. You're right. I thought that I had read that in a face mask there weren't any small face mask penalties anymore. They're all the 15-yard variety now. Remember, they used to be inadvertent and advertent. I think they're all in high school. I think they changed that to say they're all the same now.
Yeah, that was a judgment call, and I would assume some athletes got injured, just on an inadvertent one. So they went back to what it used to be.
So you'll see the mark off here, and it's the 15. There is no inadvertent, so it's 15 yards, because that wasn't a blatant call at all. I mean, the kid didn't spin his head around, anything like that. But unfortunately, when you get a face mask call in high school nowadays, after the beginning this year, it's 15 yards. That's a big penalty for the Indians to take the ball now in Indian territory at the Indian 39 or 40, 50, 39-yard line. Ball is on the Indian 39.
Waiting for the chain crew
and
to
the
get
chains
set.
Is still up on the other side there. It's 1st and 10, Red Tornadoes. Pulowski is in the lone back formation, and we stay in that kind of heavy, I don't know what you call this exact formation. Because the fullback lines up standing straight up. Pulowski in a nice run. Pulowski still on his feet. Pulowski all the way down.
He got the corner, and that's what he wanted. There was good blocking to the right, and you see what that heavy lineup does for you.
Here you see the 3 guys standing. You can see them on. Look at the 3 guys standing straight up. One of them is the fullback. He's in the stand-up position. And now you'll see Pulowski make the turn there. And when he makes the turn, he's very difficult to bring down. The ball is going to be set down at the 27-yard line of the Indians. And again, it is now 1st and 10 on that 12 or 13-yard pickup. Now it's Lamb in the backfield, and the formation goes the other way. Lamb's going to try to get around it, and he does. And there you see Myrick Lamb. He's going to pick up a couple of yards, a yard in the play maybe, but you can see he was probably stopped in the backfield by most accounts and makes the turn. We'll give him a yard on the play. It'll bring up 2nd down and 9. And I'll talk to Coach Chesney about what exactly he calls that, with 3 guys standing up, one side to the other.
Well, that was similar. Remember when the Sinkovich boys played Malachowski? We ran something similar to that.
But they didn't stand up, though. They were down in a down. Now, see how they all stand up there, which is interesting. All right, a passing formation now. He looks downfield, and he's trying to hit number 2 down there. That's Maloney, but too high, as Stewart's still not getting any accuracy on that. He just doesn't have the accuracy.
And Maloney was open that time. They were all looking. They caught the defense. They caught the defense looking over to the left where the power was at, and just couldn't lay it in there for him.
So it's 3rd and 10 now for the Red Tornadoes. Ball at the 27 of the Indians. This will be 2-down territory for the Red Tornadoes either way. The clock is at 5:03, so it's been like in that 5-minute range now for like a half an hour. I'm not sure what's going on there. The Red Tornadoes want a time. We could hear them in the booth next to us before they broke the huddle. They wanted a timeout. So something wrong in that Red Tornado formation that they didn't like, either with personnel, although no other personnel's come on yet. But they wanted a timeout instantly.
There were enough of players there.
So now everybody's down to 1 timeout. Just an unusual moment in time to see this many timeouts being used so early in a football game. So again, let me take a moment. Again, thanks Boyers for the food. The wings, of course, are just fantastic. Check out the new store, because it's like they built a brand new one from the ground up.
It is excellent. It looks
if there's
so
a downside to that, it's that I was always one of those guys that was reading the signs to begin with in each aisle.
No kidding.
And now it's like I'm in a completely different place, so I have no idea where everything is, but I can live with it. I want to say thank you also to Service Electric Cablevision. Of course, Service Electric is the cable company that you catch us on. And you see us every Wednesday night at 8 o'clock on Channel 13. And we say thank you to Dwight Walters and his entire crew. And it's a great working with them. Of course, they were a member of the PCN family last week of cable companies who are in that family and make it possible to see a team statewide. And we were very privileged to be able to do that. And, of course, we are the only high school station in Pennsylvania, student-run station that can do stuff like that. So we were proud to be part of it. And, of course, Wayne and I just hang on for the ride most of the time. Blitz from the Indians. And it's going to be Pulowski. And Pulowski's not going to get outside. No. I'm going to see the guy get up down there. It's number 47 for the Indians. He's the guy that made the nice play. And that is Preston Ford. I tell you what, if he hadn't stopped him, that was a long run. So Ford does a nice job to pin Pulowski on the sideline. It's 4th down now for the Indians, and there's a red tornado on the ground. And he has, looks like cramps, I think. I'm not sure. Yes, he does.
Yep.
So another timeout for cramps. And it's somewhat odd in that last week and this week, and neither night's very warm. It's not a very warm night out here. It's probably in the 60s right now. People are wearing coats and sweatshirts in front of us, so normally you don't see that kind of thing, but we've had it happen here and last week too. And Coach Chesney actually said he was kind of disappointed that they had cramps, especially not being a real hot night. And in the last few years, if you look back, and you and I were talking about this one day, that these games 4 or 5 years ago, we'd be in this box and I'd be in a pool of sweat and being defibrillated at some point. Now, the first 2 games of the season, and we're in the 60s, people are wearing coats in both games, and it's just interesting how the weather has changed so much.
That's Pulowski.
Oh, it is Pulowski. Okay, so he gets up. He had a cramp as he got tackled, so he'll come out of the game for a minute. And Myrick Lamb will go into that tailback position. And Lamb, the sophomore, Pulowski, the senior of this group. Lamb missing a good portion of last season's run into the state with a knee injury, which he came back from very well. But
very well and very quickly, too. He rehabilitated.
The Indians on a full blitz. Stewart in trouble, and Stewart's down, and that's Wes Tillett. The big guy, number 53, 6'4", 265. He comes in and brings Stewart down, and it's going to be turned over on downs. The Indians will take over 1st and 10 from the 30. We're at the 32-yard line. 32-yard line.
Of Shamokin.
I had trouble counting my 20s and 30s there for a second. Again, it's 27-6 in favor of the Red Tornadoes. 4:35 remaining here in one of the longest third quarters on the face of the earth. And it wasn't even like we passed the ball a lot, so I'm going to wonder about it. One guy in the backfield, that's Forbes. Bring a man in motion, which is Montgomery. And he looks back, and again, he's trying to throw to Busan that time. He threw it at Busan, and Busan couldn't hold on to it. I'll tell you what. And we have a red tornado down on the sideline as Minnick goes down on the far sideline. Another timeout on the field as Minnick didn't get up. And the Shamokin trainer runs over, and he's got a cramp. So, there's something in the water or something not in the water around here now.
Shamokin trainer's actually from Locust Gap.
That's true, yeah. I didn't want to mention that.
Oh, okay.
Well, they're both with Star.
Yes, they're both at Star, and Star does an excellent job, I have to say that.
They're both with the Star Physical Therapy up in Marion Heights. So we kidded about that last year when he was on the sidelines of the Shamokin sidelines. He played ball here at Mount Carmel. But that happens. And again, you're going to see that. But both of them over there getting worked on. And again, this cramp thing is, again, somewhat odd on a cool night. I'm going to, and it's funny, now they drink all this stuff.
Gatorade.
All the electrolytes.
Yeah.
We never drank any of that stuff. I don't remember getting any cramps. Not that many anyway. Not like you see now. I'm starting to wonder if that stuff is.
They put salt in the water and
they
drink
put salt in the water. Yeah,
That's exactly what they did.
It was like taking a drink out of the ocean for crying out loud. That was cruel and unusual almost for that stuff. All right, 2nd and 10 for the Indians. They again go 2 split right, 2 split left. Haddock throws short to Montgomery on a short pass, and Shoestack will take Montgomery out of bounds around the 40-yard line short of the first down. It'll be 3rd down and about 3. Maybe less. We'll see where he actually puts the chain down. It's actually 3rd down and 1. So he went out a little bit further past that 40-yard line. It's 3rd and 1 for the Indians.
But the thing of it is, they're using the clock a little bit here. They're running a lot of sideline patterns, trying to kill it.
Back in a traditional I formation now. Montgomery's the tailback, and it's
Forbes to the center, but
Forbes goes. Forbes didn't get the first down. 34. He did not pick the first down up. That's Shoestack. Shoestack, he had help from Karicki. And Hajnowski standing around now.
Yeah, we got
penalty
a
flag, and this will be an unsportsmanlike penalty, guaranteed.
Yep.
He didn't pick the first. It was a 3rd and 1, and Forbes got nailed at the line of scrimmage. And now somebody said something right after that.
Yes, they did.
Unsportsmanlike against the Indians, and that's a painful penalty to take. I don't know. There was no shoving, no pushing. Someone said something, and the referee heard it. Either he said it at the referee or he said it around him, but it's a 15-yard penalty. They didn't get the first down anyway, so they were going to have to kick, but now they're going to be kicking back from their own 15-yard line or so when he finally puts his foot to the ball. He's standing at his 12 now. So not what you want. Good field position back to the Red Tornadoes, depending on how this punt goes. Red Tornadoes look like they wanted to block. Forbes did a nice job. Forbes did a nice job. I don't know what the flag is for, though.
Well,
where's it at?
No, there is no flag. He was gonna pull it out and he was gonna throw it for roughing the kicker, but he didn't.
He's having to talk about it right now. You're right. I mean,
yes.
Now they're all talking. I thought we roughed the kicker too because we didn't touch the ball. I don't think. But I don't know. I'm not sure. It's a non-call because there's no penalty flag, but certainly that should have probably been one. I'm not sure what we're doing there.
Yeah, you didn't touch the ball. You don't touch the ball. That's roughing the kicker.
A poor kick because, again, the ball got centered back to him poorly and he struggled with it. The Red Tornadoes take over 1st and 10 on the 34-yard line of the Indians. So the Indians back to their first quarter field position woes and are struggling to get out of their own way, but just a couple of mistakes in the punting game really hurt them. Pulowski goes in motion, but it goes to Lamb, and Lamb gets stood up, and Lamb gets out of it, and Lamb.
Look at this.
Lamb's still going. What a run by Myrick Lamb. Finally brought down in there by Leon Supsick.
That's
what a run.
The first time you see the speed that Lamb brings on the field this year.
And he got stopped at the beginning of the play.
He got stood up.
So a big run by Lamb. It's 1st and 10. Red Tornadoes, the ball at the 16-yard line of the Indians. Again, Lamb will stay as the lone back. Again, the same motion and Lamb the other way. And this time, Phillips will tackle him down for a short gain as he crossed over the 15 to the 14-yard line.
Trying to misdirection play, putting Pulowski in motion to the right with the heavy line that way. And they're trying to sneak back to the weak side of the offense here with Myrick Lamb trying to break him off tackle.
All right, Stewart doing a little bit of shifting people around in the wrong spot. Again, Lamb, the lone back. This time we do the same play, and this time I bet you we give it to. No, we don't. We go and we look like we're going to throw it. Stewart is not. He's going to run it, and Stewart tries to get the corner, but he only gets a couple of yards. He was well defended by most of the Indians over there. They didn't give the edge up at all.
No, it looked like it. Well, it took some time to develop that play.
Yeah.
You put Pulowski in motion, you're bringing him on the same side that Eddie Stewart's going to run on, so you're bringing extra defenders over there. And, it just took Eddie a long time to get over to the outside where Shamokin were able to cover that.
3rd and 8 now for the Red Tornadoes, and the ball sitting still at the 14, so there's no gain on the play by Stewart. 2:37, the longest third quarter. I can't believe how long this quarter's gone already. Pitch it to Pulowski, and Pulowski's going to try to find that edge. Montgomery doesn't get him. He gets a nice block downfield, but he's going to be taken out of bounds by Forbes. And he goes out around the 11-yard line. Not enough for the first down, obviously, and it'll be 4th down for the Indians. And Forbes, I'll tell you what, Forbes plays a heck of a game.
He does,
goes
doesn't
both
he?
ways, never gives up. I mean, ranges all over the field, but he's a little gimpy out there now. I mean, does the punting, does everything.
Look at his jersey out there.
Yeah.
It's a different color. You know, you can tell he's been.
And they're saying come out, and he's saying no. So he's going to walk that one off, whatever it is. But he's a warrior, that kid. He truly is. We've seen him last year and this year now, and he's a tough player. He's a senior and the senior leader of this Shamokin defense. Stewart out of the shotgun. He looks downfield, and he throws it, and he tried to get T.J. Rome and Busan on the coverage down there, some tight coverage, and Busan knocked it away at the last moment. He had some help from Montgomery, and they will turn the ball over. And how many times have we seen two teams turn the ball over to each other in a game? That's amazing.
And not score.
And not score at all. So 1st and 10 for the Indians. Unfortunately for them, once again, they're on their own 11-yard line where they played a good portion of this football game. 2:25 remaining in the 3rd quarter here, as Haddock will get his group, and he's got one guy either leaving the field, which if he doesn't get off soon is going to be a penalty. All right, he does get him off finally there. I think there's too many guys somewhere on this field. I think we might have too many guys. The Red Tornadoes may have too many guys this time.
I think you are correct.
We're counting numbers here. This is kind of weird for the second game that both teams have so much trouble getting people in and out of the football game and being where they're supposed to be. And we did. We had one guy too many on there, and that's the way it looks anyway. So
we got 11.
1st and 5 now from the 16-yard line. And Forbes is free this time, and Forbes just tripped up Stewart, and Lamb tripped him up or he was gone. So 1st down run that time.
That's the best we've seen Brett Forbes run tonight. He's got to be super tired, that kid. Breaking off tackle and trying to veer to the left a little bit and almost broke it wide open. Back to the power again.
Back to the power. And this time it's a Haddock on a run. Now Smirlik blew that play up originally, and now Hynoski will finish it off. But Smirlik was the guy that made him go wide and trying to take the corner away from him.
And you know what? That's what Smirlik wants to do. That he wants to take on those lead blockers and wipe out as many as he possibly can, and that's what he did.
Yeah, he did. He completely blew the play up. It'll bring 2nd down and 8 on a 2-yard gain by Haddock. But there's a case where somebody makes the tackle, but Smirlik really should get the credit because he was the guy all over that play.
Haddock having some difficulty here.
Well, faulty helmets here. The Shamokin Indians, for the first time that I can remember, playing in just plain purple helmets. There's no insignia,
no arrow, no
spear
nothing.
or arrow or no S or nothing, just plain purple helmets. So a lot of new things happening here tonight for the Indians. They're not in all purple, which is, I can't remember the last time that was. All right. Short, quick kick, tried to hit Busan. Great coverage down here. He was well covered on the field down there by Minnick.
Mark Minnick, number 3, playing some excellent defensive football for the Tornadoes.
So it's 3rd and 8 now. I think some people are starting to think about going home because they're going to be late for Mass. There's still 1:20 in the 3rd quarter, folks. This is unbelievable. All right, we pitch it to Montgomery. He is not going to pick up. In fact, he's not even close to the 1st down. Again, Hynoski, Lamb on the stop with a little bit of help with Shoestack.
And Juraski, number 10, he just came in and again took out the lead blockers.
Juraski has played a nice defensive game, too. He's really played well. So Forbes in the kick, and they're short a guy. He's going to get in position here finally.
Pisarcik is over.
Again, he rolls it back, a penalty flag, and the Red Tornadoes almost blocked it again.
Oof.
What a kick, though.
What a kick
Oh,
by
my
Brent
goodness,
Forbes.
folks. Pick it up if you're going to do it. He's looking at it bouncing around down there. I'm thinking, oh, my goodness. He takes it out to the 25, but a monster kick by Forbes.
Wow.
Monster kick. But if he would have let that roll, it would have went to the goal line for crying out loud. And it was a flag in the very beginning of the play. I don't know what that was. So I'm not sure if that'll pull this punt back or not. It's a shame if it does, because that was one monster punt. So unfortunately, it's going to bring it back. That's exactly what it looks like. They're going to bring it back.
Illegal procedure against the Indians. The Red Tornadoes will take the
Illegal procedure. Ball rolls back to Forbes again. He does a nice job.
Look at it. Another kick. Great kick.
Lamb fumbles it, picks it up, hands it to Pulowski.
Pulowski fumbles it.
Fall on it. Fall on it, Pulowski. It's going to be recovered down there by number 9 for the Red Tornadoes. That's Tyler Hodge. But my goodness, you got to just drop on the ball, folks. That'll be gone over in practice, too. I can guarantee you that. Oh,
not only one time, Lamb did it, and then he tries to hand it off to Pulowski, and he does it.
You got to get on that ball fast. Fall down on it. Hodge makes a heads-up play to recover the ball, but now look how field position changes instantaneously on this ball.
Yeah, there's a lot of game left here.
The Red Tornadoes now have it on the 16, and the kicking game for both teams, very shaky. Very shaky on both sides of the ball. Now, the Red Tornadoes short a guy in the huddle, too, so we have to go over, like, who's on the field when. We're going to have to have a whole practice on that on both sides of the ball here. All right. Split backfield for the Red Tornadoes. I haven't seen that much, but it's a quick handoff to Lamb. Lamb will pick up a yard or so on the play. That's about it. He's stopped by everybody in the interior of the Shamokin line.
Wes Tillett, number 53, making initial hit.
All right. That, folks, and believe it or not, and get ready for this. If you're not sitting down, sit down. But that is the end of the third quarter of play here at the Silver Bowl in the Coal Bucket game. The score, the Red Tornadoes, 27. The Shamokin Area Indians, 6. 1 quarter left in the big game. And we'll see in the end of this 12 minutes who gets to take home the coveted Coal Bucket. You got a lot of kids here. Haddock also goes both ways.
Yes, he does.
And so does Montgomery.
And Haddock is your quarterback, and he's playing linebacker yet.
Yeah.
I mean, that's got to be tiring.
So
Montgomery plays an outstanding linebacker, outside linebacker position, and he's running the ball.
This time, Pulowski gets away of a tackle and finally he's going to fight his way. Yeah, I don't know how Phillips didn't bring him down. He ran right underneath him. But all that's going to end up for about a yard gain, so it'll bring up a third. Actually, got to gain a couple more yards than a yard, but it's third down and
long 4.
You're right. I'm looking at more than I thought on that play, to tell you the truth. I didn't realize that. So Pulowski will come out for a rest. Lamb will go back into the game. And the Red Tornadoes on the 3rd and 4 will come out with a I formation. And he has 2 guys out to the left of the formation split, but we hand it off to Shoestack.
No, to Lamb.
Lamb. And Lamb powers his way to a first down.
First down and a penalty. Flag.
And a penalty. He threw it right at the Indian player. So you know it's going against them. Lamb took it out to the 30-yard line for the first down, but now they're going to mark. I don't know what the penalty is exactly. Did you see what he called?
No, I didn't. Unsportsmanlike conduct.
And that is unfortunate there. That's something you don't want to have happen. 15 other yards. That's a killer. If you're Shamokin, that's a killer.
Personal foul.
And I didn't see it. I don't know what it was. I mean, I didn't see it on the field. But he did. I mean, he was standing right there.
He was standing right there.
Hesitate. And now the Indians have taken their final timeout. Shoestack, the fullback, and Shoestack piles up some more yardages. He'll pick up about 5. on the play.
Shustak, and that was a slant back play. Shustak lined up on the right-hand side, and of course, cut back over to tackle on the left, trying to break through the backside of the defensive setup. Pickup of a good 4 yards that time.
Maloney comes into the game replacing Minnick for the Red Tornadoes. Ball at the 49-yard line of the Red Tornadoes. It's second down and a long 5. I formation, we pitch it out to Pulowski with Hynoski in front of him, and Pulowski will get
about 3
I was
yards.
going to say, picks up about, I thought he got stood up there, but he actually squirted past Hynoski and got 3 yards on it. You're right. I thought he was stopped up front.
Looked like Wes Tillett, number 53, making a stop that time.
So 3rd and 2 now. 3rd and a long 2 for the Red Tornadoes as he gained a little more yardage than I gave him credit for. Lamb will bring the play in. Hynoski will come out. On a big 3rd down play in Indian territory at the Indian 47-yard line. And it's Lamb, and Lamb fights his way.
Almost. I think he
has the first down. He does. Lamb on a tough run.
Second effort again, the second time around on his carry. Picks up the first down. They're going to measure? For what reason?
No, it's a first down. No measurement there. I thought for a second he was thinking about it, but now it's pretty clear. Well, 1st and 10, Red Tornadoes. The ball inside the Indian 45-yard line, just about the 44. 9:21 and counting in the ball game. As time now truly precious to the Indians as they cannot stop this Red Tornado attack.
And there is a drizzle. It is raining at this point.
Lamb brought down by Montgomery in the backfield. Nice play by Montgomery. And got to be careful on a play like that.
Yeah.
The whistle blew. You got to let him go there. A loss on the play. And I don't know where they're going to give his forward progress to. Let's wait and see that.
Looks up to the 50.
Because so they're going to give him 49 or so. All right, so a loss on the play of about 5, close to 5. So it'll bring up second down. Let's say second down and 14.
Well, it's raining pretty steady at this point.
Well, so much for complimenting the AD on a perfect night now as the crowd begins to scatter as the rain begins to come down again. How much rain can we possibly get? Stewart on a keeper this time, and Stewart falls down. Forbes had a beat on him, but he was, I think, trying to stop.
Yeah, he was. He was trying to
get
down. Forbes to pass him by, and didn't happen. You can see now it's grass is getting a little slick here.
Forbes was in there like a steamroller that time, and I can see Stewart thinking, there's no reason to get killed over this. What a loss on the play, though. Now it's 3rd down and 20 on that big loss. See, there's a play that Eddie's going to learn. Stopping wasn't going to help him there. You got to just keep going.
Yeah.
You got to try to get to that corner or go straight out of or whatever. But stopping's only going to get you killed. All right. So the flag flies, and I think we took too much time.
Yeah, too much time.
So this is not going to be a game you look back for and call and say, what a pristine game we had. Talk about every mistake in the book by both sides of this field here today. They're just inventing everything that can go wrong to go wrong. So now it's going to be 3rd and 25.
And it looks like Shamokin's bringing everybody up on the line here.
I would too if I were Shamokin in this case.
Yep.
Stewart's in a shotgun. Here they come. And Stewart wisely tucks the ball and goes down. Nice play. Stewart made the right call that way. He's brought down by Pisarcik, 37 down there. And it'll be a punt situation for the Red Tornadoes. 7:15 remaining in the football game here in the Silver Bowl. And it looks like it was a quick rainstorm. It's kind of let up here now. So we're back to just a little mist and drizzle. All right. Low snap. Roman gets it away. A nice effort by Roman. Busan lets it hit the ground. And this time he picks it up. And
He
Jurafsky,
slipped, though. You can see the grass must be getting slippy.
Jurafsky and Karicki all over him. So he'll go out of bounds down around the 27-yard line where it'll be 1st and 10 as the Indians take over. 6:42 remaining in the ball game here now, and the Indians need to do something right this minute for any chance of staying in the game. They have no timeouts left.
None, and that's going to be the killer for them. No timeouts.
I thought they had no timeouts for the last time.
Yeah,
I'm not going to argue that one.
And so did have to stand too.
Everybody thought the same thing there, but that's here nor there at the moment. All right, we come out in an I formation behind Haddock. Haddock's going to throw the ball. Plenty of time this time.
And
intercepted and out of his hands. Minnick couldn't hold on. He had a touchdown.
Oh, he did.
He had a touchdown.
And you know, he fumbled. Watch the first time. He fumbles it, and I thought he got control of it. Has it there, and I thought, oh. I assume he did too.
He had a touchdown, and he dropped it. 2nd and 10.
Boy,
Haddock was high that time trying to hit Busan.
And Busan was the only one out on the pass pattern.
I always think that's so difficult to make a quarterback throw to the only guy in the pattern.
Yeah. Well, you can't misjudge who you're throwing it to, that's for sure.
Stopped in there by Sinopoli up at the 30-yard line. Gain of about 3 on the play. It'll bring up 3rd down and 7 for the Indians. I believe that was Montgomery on the carry.
Ball.
We have not seen Dorenzo for a while now. I'm not sure. I didn't see him get hurt, but he's not been in the game for a while. It's been Montgomery doing the bulk of the duty here in the 4th quarter. Unless they alternate that way. I'm not sure. Maybe they alternate by quarters or something.
I haven't seen Dorenzo in since the beginning of the 3rd quarter.
I don't know what happened to him, but I didn't see anything happen to him, to tell you the truth. The 3rd and 7. Haddock pitches it to Montgomery, and it's a end around, and they got some room.
Tom Nairns.
They don't have any room anymore. Nope. Sinopoli absolutely buries Nairns for a loss. I thought he had an open field, but again, that's absolutely the starkest contrast of speed you're going to see. He could not get to the corner, and they got there. They were completely fooled, and they beat him back to the corner and lost. He lost yardage. So 4th and 10, but that's the speed difference. You saw it right there. If there's one play going to illustrate it, that's the play that will do it. So Forbes in the kick. He's counting because he's still a guy late here. He just don't want to come out on the punt team here. And he's not even sure if he's in the right position. All right, rolls it back again to him, but no rush this time. Kicks it in the direction of Lamb, who I don't think Lamb touched it originally.
He did now.
He might have touched it when he got tackled.
Yes, he
there.
did.
And the Indians pick it up. They got it. So it is turned over. Sometimes I wonder what we think about when we do stuff like this. But there's oh goodness. Oh my goodness. The Indians have a flag in the backfield. They got the fumble. They recovered the fumble, and they would have had great field position, and now
illegal participation? Is that what's assigned or not? I don't know.
Well, they obviously had a guy in the wrong spot there. That was the first thing they had wrong. But what they did after that, I'm not sure. But this has been the worst punting game in the history of man for one team. They just cannot get their punt team right. And it begins with the fact that they never have enough people on the field.
Well, that's true. But if you take a look at the last 5 punts, the ball rolled back from the center.
He's not getting a center snap. He hardly ever gets a good center snap, but that doesn't seem to faze him much except in the end zone.
Yes.
Where he took a little too much time trying to get the ball. But they just don't have the punt team on the field at the right time, and that's agonizing for a coach to have that happen to him.
Number 35, Brent Shores, punt formation.
Oh my goodness. Another whistle. No flag, but a whistle. I don't know if they're trying to determine where the ball should be here or what. Well,
delay a game.
A delay
had to
a
be,
game. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, folks. Oh, it is now 4th down. And I don't know how long. I can't even count how many yards it is there now. 15, 18, somewhere around there.
25 yards.
But now he's punting out of his own end zone, and now the ball's dribbled back again. He barely gets it off. and it's only going to go out of bounds at the 30-yard line. So the punting game has absolutely blown up in Shamokin's face tonight. And you know, last week they showed no problems at all punting.
Really?
No, none at all. I mean, boomed a couple of them. I mean, they just really did very well. But and again, it's not him. It's the fact that he can't get 11 guys on the field.
Right.
You know, the ball comes back to him, you know, in a dribble. Now, we were not rushing him in that time, but those are problems you got to fix pretty quick. Now, it's 1st and 10, Red Tornadoes. 4:50 remaining in the football game here. It's 27-6 Red Tornadoes.
We pretty much have changed the whole offense here for the Tornadoes.
We do. That's Hodge on the carry, number 9. The new quarterback, Clayman, number 12, in for the Red Tornadoes as they have put a whole group of kids in there. We'll try to get you their numbers.
Brian McFadden, number 11, is in. 89, Bellingham.
There's 32 into that lineup also, and that's going to be Ray Hiroman, TJ's brother. The clock ticking away here at 4:21 and counting here as we go into an I formation behind Clayman. Clayman hands to Hodge, and Hodge barreling for yardage.
Hodge would have kept his head up a little bit and veered to the right side. He had a touchdown. That whole mass, the offensive line, pushed everything straight back towards the goal line. All he had to do was kick it to the right.
We got a bunch of new kids in there for Shamokin, too, so we'll try to get you some of their names, some of their numbers as I see them there. But they pretty much changed defense at the same time.
Tyler Morosky, number 9. Trey Cohn is in playing number 2, playing defense. Josh Dunn, number 20.
Clayman will take the I formation again, hands it to Hodge, and Hodge has
Kicks
some running room.
outside.
Hodge outside, and Hodge picking up big yardage. 1st and 10, Red Tornadoes. Ball down around the 12-yard line now. Hodge, only a sophomore, playing in the game tonight, and you can see, give him a head of steam, and he'll get a rolling on you.
And he kicked it to the outside that time. If he would have done that the first time out here in that last play, that definitely was a score.
3:10 remaining in the ball game now.
Bobby Byerschman, number 45, in.
Number 11, Brian McFadden in the Tornado lineup.
All right. Again, the I formation. Everybody split out to the right side of the field, but he goes left with Hodge, and Hodge.
Nice cut by Hodge and scores.
Touchdown, Tyler Hodge. Hodge on a 12-yard run into the end zone, and the Red Tornadoes are on the scoreboard again. It's 33-6 Red
Hodge
Tornadoes.
made a beautiful cut on the 5-yard line. He was going for the pylon over on the left, and he cut it very quickly back to the middle of the right by the goalpost and takes it in.
I talk about running with a head of steam, boy. That's what he was doing. 12 yards. He wasn't going to be denied, and he puts it in the end zone. Quite a feat for a sophomore here in the bucket game. So Clayman will come in, and I assume, I'm not sure what we're going to do here.
No, we're going to go for 2.
We may even take a knee, though. I don't know. He's not going for 2 here. Yeah, he takes a knee. I knew he wasn't lined up to do 2. That's not his style either. So some sportsmanship on the side of the Red Tornadoes as they take a knee instead of going for the 2-point conversion. And the score will remain the Red Tornadoes 33. The Shamokin Area Indians 6 here in this cold bucket game. And very, very little went right for the Indians tonight here in the Silver Bowl. And the Indians have won 2 times in the Silver Bowl since 1966 when they became Shamokin Area.
Really?
2 times only in the entire series. Now, they won other games there,
right?
But only 2 times on the turf here at the Silver Bowl. This is truly their nemesis when they get into this ball game up here. And we talked about how evenly matched we thought they both were at the top of the game. We firmly believe this is going to be a tight, knock 'em dead kind of game. But it got away from the Indians very quickly, and they just weren't able to recover. This will be the 14th win in a row, which is the longest streak of any team in this series which began back in 1898. But 14 is the longest streak that anybody's held the bucket. And it is now teeming rain again as a downpour is broken out here down at the field. It's raining pretty hard once again as Hiroman had to come back in because Hiroman is the kicker. He kicks it deep, fumbles the ball down around the 3, and Cohen comes up. Cohen brought down very quickly down there by number 24 for the Red Tornado.
Lamb.
What a nice stop by Lamb. What is it? We're talking Cohen. I'm sorry, Cohen. That was Can. Cohen. Trey Cohen is a junior, 5'10", 150 pounds. So the Indians now will have a new offense, and we're going to try to catch who the quarterback is. I believe it's 8. Or no, maybe 9. 9, I'm sorry. It's Tyler Morosky. He's a sophomore, 5'9", 153. He'll come in at quarterback for the Indians as they come up and line up with 2:38 remaining in the game. I cannot see the number of the running back. There's only one back there, and we'll get his number in a moment. And they have gone offside. We'll be able to get it now as they jump offside.
Is that 22 or 32?
22. It's Anthony Anonia.
Yep.
He's a freshman, folks. He's a freshman. That's an illegal procedure on the Indians. They were on their own 14. They're now going to be on their own 9. But again, an entire offensive team in as Coach Ford has replaced everybody as has Coach Chesney in the lineup. And it goes to Morosky, and Morosky will pick up about 2 yards on the play. He stopped down there by number 26 for the Red Tornadoes, Brett Breskop.
Also for the Red Tornadoes, Jim Private. And 32, Ray Roll.
All right, brings up a 2nd down and 12 as a loss on the play there. Oh, he gained 3 yards, but he had the penalty, so 2nd and 12. Again, Morosky on the, I'm sorry, this is the quarterback on the carry still. And he's got some yardage there as he picks up some big yardage. Morosky in a nice run for the Indians. So he did not pick the first down up. Okay, he went out of bounds.
No, he went out of bounds. He was about 3 yards short.
I'm sorry, I thought he was a lot closer to that first down mark. It's 3rd down now, and we'll call it 3rd down on 3. Minute 30 remaining in the football game now. Morosky brings him up. It's Anonia, and Anonia's going to pick the first down up. He stopped in there by number 54 for the Red Tornadoes, and that is Ryan Tolchinsky on the stop.
Ryan Tolchinsky making the tackle.
Minute 14 and counting in the game.
All right, 1st and 10 from the 26-yard line of the Indians. Again, they stay in the one-back offense now with the second team here. And that time he got a head of steam, and he's loose. They're going to hunt him down finally, but Morosky all the way into Red Tornado territory at the Red Tornado 23-yard line. Boy, did he take off like a bullet.
Right through the hole, made it in the middle of the line, and he just took off. Showed some good speed also.
Aaron McPhee into the lineup for the Red Tornadoes, number 30. .46 seconds left to play. Clock stopped as they reset the first down. Clock has now begun again. It's 1st and 10 Indians from the 23. Morosky is going to be dragged down in there by big number 70 for the Red Tornadoes, Seth Nicola. The gain of about a yard on the play. It'll bring up 2nd down. The clock continues to run. The Indians can't stop it. They don't want to anyway.
No.
And they'll get one more play off maybe as the quarterback runs to the sideline to get the play, and then he trots back in with absolutely no hurry to him whatsoever. So I'm assuming he gave up as far as running a play.
He was told, yeah, you're done.
Yeah, they're not going to run a play. So that, ladies and gentlemen, will effectively bring an end to this football game. The Red Tornadoes have retained the coal bucket for the 14th consecutive year, the longest streak in this bucket's history. And remember, this is a 59-year history of the coal bucket game between these two fine schools, separated by just a couple of miles. A rivalry that has gone on since 1898. And Shamokin again comes up a little bit short on this one. The final score here from the Silver Bowl, the Red Tornadoes of Mount Carmel area 33. The Shamokin area Indians 6. They'll be contested on the carpet at Kemp Memorial. And I'll tell you what, I was down at Kemp last week for the Southern game, and you want to see a spiffy scoreboard.
Oh,
What a scoreboard. I'll tell you what, that is one sharp scoreboard. I was impressed.
Yep.
And again, Kemp is one of the best venues to play high school football. I mean, it truly is a great field, great parking. I mean, it's all kinds of neat things. And we'll be there at the 10th game. We'll be wearing overcoats by that time, unlike now. But in all, a great football game. I'm looking down. Jose looks like he might be getting ready to do the stats. I don't know if he can hear me down there. He can. We turn him up, and we'll go to the stats. I don't know where the camera guy is, so we're going to have to skip him and go straight to Jose because it's raining. I know it's getting wet down there.
It's fine, Warren. Can you hear me?
We can hear you, pal.
Okay, first for Shamokin. 41 rushes, 130 yards on the ground, 50 on the last play, so they had a real good job up until then defensively. 6 of 14 passing for 48. Total offense, 178 yards, 10 first downs. I had Forbes with 10 for 27 and Dorenzo with 11 for 43. So we did a pretty good job holding the vaunted rushing attack intact. For Mount Carmel, 43 rushes, 185 yards, 2 of 10 passing for 11 yards. Total offense, 196, 14 first downs. Justin Pulowski, 17 for 95. Myrick Lamb, 9 for 45. Cody Shoestack, 4 for 20. And Tyler Hodge at the end, 4 for 27. So a pretty good offensive output for Mount Carmel, and did a nice job.
Well, I mean, we're commenting up here now. The game we thought would have been tighter. You and I both talked about that in the beginning with Wayne, and obviously it wasn't. But I don't think I can remember, and Wayne and I are trying to think when a kicking game could have exploded in somebody's face as badly as it did for the Indians tonight.
Yeah, it really didn't work out at all. On the other hand, T.J. Hiroman had his second consecutive great week. The snaps weren't good at Shamokin. Forbes had a rough time getting the ball, and you're right, the kicking game hurt them.
I think Forbes was getting a little tired the middle of the third period there and fourth, and rightfully so. I mean, he plays 110% through the whole game, does a great job at fullback and linebacker position. He's in on every play.
Yeah, he did a great job, and they're going to be a team that's going to win some football games. I just think they have some things to put together, and I just think that they'll have a decent season.
Well, and again, we talked about this. It's a new head coach, so it's a new system a little bit for them. They're running a fairly vanilla offense right now. I think that gets more complicated as they go through the season, but right now, you pretty much know what they're going to do. They fooled us a little bit with the heavy backfield, which is you're not getting fooled as much, but you throw an extra blocker in, which they had some success with, but then we stopped it. So, that was that. But again, the miscues in the punting game were so glaring at one point, costing him a touchdown at one point, and then costing him field position for the rest of the game that they never got. They just couldn't recover from it. And that's something Coach Ford is going to have to work on, because a lot of it had to do with the fact they could never get 11 guys on the field.
Yeah, you're right. The substitution process tonight on both sides was a little bit shaky. No, I mean, I'm not picking on anybody. It's hard early in the season. It's a difficult thing to do.
We're agreeing on both sides. You'd have a hard time putting 11 guys in the field.
Well, you get a guy with a cramp here and a guy with a cramp there, and you have 2 D-backs in, and all of a sudden one goes back in, and now you have 3 guys on the field where you should have only had 2. I mean, it's a difficult thing, and everybody yells and screams, but they should come down here and try to do it. But all in all, I think it was a great night. It was another Mount Carmel Shamokin game, and looking forward to next week in the option with Shikellamy, and we'll see how we do.
Yep, we'll travel. In fact, we travel on the road for 2 games in a row now. We'll be seeing Shikellamy here on Friday night, and the following week we will travel to our first and maybe only time in the foreseeable future, the Warrior Run, as they will not be on the schedule the following 2-year cycle. They're off, so we're going to see Warrior Run for the first and maybe only time in a couple of weeks. So I think a big win for the Red Tornadoes. They needed to get past last week's problems, and that's, what happened to them there. They did. I think they can forget that. I think he did a good job, even talking to the kids at Supper Club with you on Thursday. You know, unlike us, kids don't hold that much. They kind of got past that. They were already focused on this game.
No, you know, and that's a great characteristic of young people. You know, just to get up and move on, and there's nothing else you can do by dwelling on a thing like last week. We got to move on. We know it was only one loss. They feel they can go 9-1 the rest of the way. Obviously, it's going to be difficult. We'll do it 1 week at a time, but they made the right step forward tonight, and I think they can continue to work on that.
All right, Jose, we're going to get you out of that pouring rain down
there.
All the kudos to Sakowicz. It held out right to the end.
He did a great job. You know, if it wasn't such a long game, we would have been out of it before it rained.
The longest third quarter in the history of man.
That wasn't his fault, so we'll give him a pass on that.
Right, we're not going to hold him responsible.
All right, thanks,
Jose,
guys.
thanks a lot.
All righty.
All right, gang, we're going to wrap it up here from the Silver Bowl again. The Red Tornadoes have retained the Coal Bucket for the 14th year in a row. It stays here. The big game is over for this year for us. The next rivalry game will be the Southern Columbia Tigers later in the season.
That's in the eighth game, I think.
So for now, we look at Shikellamy, a much improved football team. They're also a Division I team. They're another crossover game for us. So two coming very quickly for us.
Yes.
And it'll be down there. I look forward to going down there. It's a refurbished stadium. We have not seen the stadium since it was all done and looking good. So that'll be a nice trip down there. And again, that's Friday night. You'll catch us every Wednesday at 8 o'clock, courtesy of Service Electric Cablevision on Channel 13. Tune in, be there or be square. We will see you next week. This has been a presentation of WKMC TV Sports. Good night.